bunch of the stacks. And we mentioned before, as we do get into the game, we're seeing a few Grandmasters here. We've got a Grandmaster Mars, we've got a Grandmaster Shadow Fiend, we've got a Grandmaster Terrorblade, and a bunch of Platinum and Master tier heroes. So Comfort, Comfort, Comfort is the name of the game, except for Ponlo playing as Chaos Knight. But one thing that we mentioned with you, aka Violent, in that he is going to be very passive. The one thing I think he does better than a lot of other Terrorblades, and I know he's not like a top player, is that he knows how to make that distinction of when to use his meta, not just for farming, not just for team fighting, but converting it into an objective as well. Like you're never going to see him just use it for one sole purpose. It's always going to be for 2 or 3. So I'm interested to see how well he's going to be able to execute that, because they did very much draft around him. They banned out the Darkseer as well as the Doom, which Kalmychata had used as responses to the TB in the past throughout these qualifiers.
Yeah, that has been a big bane in the Terrorblade side for a long time. And as you said, a lot of these targeted bans really trying to enable some of these players. So that's what they're doing here for Liga, trying to make sure that Yu's having a very good time. So, seeing what Calm can do.
I think it's you are, not you is.
Anyways, there's a fight. Erase goes in. Nice little shield crash. Fortnite, man, taking quite a lot of damage. Seeing if he can crank some 90s up this hill, and he does. Gets away.
He's got a salve coming out to him. He will be A-OK. I think it's 2 for 2 in terms of the bounties, so not horrible. Certainly shows that this double melee is in a little bit of danger if you are not perfectly in position. Oh, okay. So Pondo is actually going for a little bit of a different build than what we normally see. So he's going Aetherlands first, which is pretty standard, but then looks like he's building into an Aghanim Scepter next. It could still change, as Fortnite Man will be okay. But yeah, like normally we see something like an Orchid.
I'm trying to think, like, potentially there's an interaction with the presence of the Dark Lord.
Also, just if someone gets called, you just use your ultimate, and then takes that away a little bit, the damage threat.
I'm trying to like think like a way too far outside the box of like Ponlo doing some like Giga Brain, like he's cracked the code of like double presence of the Dark Lord, just minus armor out the wazoo, and then that comes in with a logic bomb of counter initiation, I guess.
Do you think the like cogs having souls should come back, like those sorts of interactions?
Yeah, 100%. I feel like that was it was such a, I don't want to say like a nothing interaction, but it was like such a like it was something that you spent time killing those souls in the fountain instead of contesting a rune. So that was like a choice that you made, rather than it just being like, oh no, like your Shadow Fiend just gets, like, obviously he gets 3 souls, but like you also miss out on 2 heroes, or potentially 3 heroes, because of the way that you used to have to do it with the deny, right? So yeah, 100%. I like weird interactions, and I like people abusing weird interactions. That's what Dota's built off of.
So I'm just looking at Violent up here on the top side. He just got 2 denies straight in Mars's face underneath the tower as well, so very nicely done. Off to a nice little start he is. So is Mirage, just looking to continue to try and put the pressure onto Erase, who honestly isn't having too bad of a time himself, considering, Shadow Fiend, how good he is against a lot of the melee heroes in the pool these days. Just making sure to pressure him at the right times to make sure that he's not going to get that flag bearer creep for free, but still ends up securing it for himself.
Yeah, just having the double jump and the shield crash just means you can secure so many more of those creeps. It's just very, very hard to deal with, because you obviously don't want to Shadow Raise at the wrong time as well, for Mirage. And just have it all soaked up by the barrier.
Nicely done as well to be able to leave Malik on his own in the lane. Ends up getting a stack from MRLS, maybe just assuming correctly that it's worth giving up the Lotus pool for the purpose of getting a double stack up.
Especially because they are so important for a hero. like axe, right? Where just being able to accelerate towards that next item and kind of remove that awkward window where we were even talking about it in the last game. You know, you make the choice of blade mail or blink. Sometimes that can be make or break, but if you reduce that window, if you do make the wrong choice, then you can kind of make up for some lost time. But
I mean,
either way,
they don't want to fight on Liga team is the thing. Like, they just want to sit back and do absolutely nothing and hope that they're able to get away with getting into those items. And so, you know, the ability to be able to make some of these... Oh, who's got the faster fingers? It's a race, and I was about to say this might be very, very bad for Mirage, but able to get away just in time. Won't be able to secure the bottle refill, though, so might be forced to go back to his own bounty rune, and that's, I think, exactly where MLS is starting to patrol towards. Hanging out the fact that it's still there.
Okay. Thought maybe he might walk all the way over there.
I think it would have been worth it, to be honest.
Going with the Ike instead. Maybe feeling like there could have been another way. Oh, Ike with the bounce up onto the high ground.
Cheeky. Hold on. Mid lane. Mirage is going for a little bit of a deep dive here.
This could be an overextension, especially because the big barrier that comes out from that shield crash. So Erase didn't have that extra bit of damage. Didn't want to swashbuckle into a Shadow Fiend. Looks like I could be able to get the kill there onto Malik on the bottom side of the map. After Ponlo gets the first kill onto Respect a little bit earlier on into the game, and now we are seeing Rinsick a lot of damage, and Yu's able to take down Ponlo on the top side of the map, who are trying to make a go there onto you.
Understandable. I mean, he has to be a little careful here. Just a couple of seconds left on the God's Rebuke cooldown. Of course, he doesn't want to go too deep underneath the tower himself, so he should be able to get a bunch of denies here on the Mars. You can tell he's hungry for it. Ooh.
They have stick charges too, so you have to be very, very careful.
Yeah, but not if you've got a Chaos Knight right there, ready to clean up a bit of a free kill. And I mean, this is what happens if you've got rotating around Oracle. He's going to be helping out as well, of course. He's got Prognosticate as mid lane. Bit of a dive. Yeah, this is what we said needed to happen. Oh, Ponlo, great positioning though, to be able to yoink away that regen rune. Might end up dying for it, but I don't think he'll really care all that much. It's just about denying the Pangolier the ability to be able to make a big level of impact throughout the game. And he wants that regen rune to kick back in, but the Fortune's End ends up dispelling it. So yeah, ends up getting the kill, but it does mean that Pango doesn't exactly have the most resources to be able to do anything now at this point.
Yeah, I think it would have been very dire straits if Mirage walked back into that lane and it was a full HP, full bottle Pango that he was walking into after dying. So at least Ponlo does make it so this lane is at least salvageable for Mirage, who's doing relatively well, being able to keep well ahead on the CS charts, and it's kind of what the Shadow Fiend does. But as the Liga team were well aware, kind of just send a lot of the emphasis towards that middle lane, try and get that Pangolier boosted forward in a lot of these extra early levels, get towards that Diffusal Blade, and then he can start making a lot more space around the map.
Level 4 on Ike as well, so I wonder if he is going to look to try and connect through with the Sven once Sven hits his level 6, just to be able to get that little bit of a boost for the God Strength. Start to slam out some of that damage, but we're seeing too many stacks being built up for Kalmychata. Not really. I mean, the ones that have been made by the Sven underneath the tier 1 tower. Maybe a little bit to the left-hand side near the Wisdom Rune, but it's really what we're seeing. What we're seeing here with Malik being able to reap the benefits of MLS and his frequent trips away from that lane. And the fact that the Axe wasn't punished when this was all happening is a little surprising. So he is doing a totally fine job, even though Sven is farming, and that's all well and good, but if you're not actually getting the kills in addition to it, that's where it starts to get a little bit more dicey.
Ponlo in trouble. He's able to stay alive there, so the Purifying Flames is able to heal him up just a little bit here. There are a few stacks that are floating around here for the Radiant side. Looks like they're going to try and make make a go on the top side. Ike will make their rotation towards top. Arena of Blood's going to go in here. You does have the Sunder available as well as the 12 stick charges, and they just fight him all the way to the end there, but they don't have the damage. Fortnite Man did not have the God's Rebuke. Mirage is going to walk forward there onto Respect and be able to take down the support. So it is Respect and Ike who will trade places, but they really wanted that kill there onto you.
Oh, they're going to be able to get this D-ward off instantly as well. I mean, it's just one of those things where they just got a little bit too antsy. It was a long TP coming through in from Mirage there. Otherwise, there probably was a kill onto the TB, and it would have been huge, you know, especially considering you've got the ability to really start to snowball if you get off to a good start on the SF, and it hasn't really been happening all that much. So advantage Liga team, in my opinion, at this stage, even though win probability has a very small advantage, only 4%. But again, they don't really want to be taking team fights. So if they're able to get a few more of these kills for free, they'll take that every day of the week.
Exactly. Being able to absorb this pressure, be able to lose out when it comes to objectives. I think that's the big thing for them. It's making sure they don't lose these early tier 1 towers and enabling a lot of these, I don't want to say greedier heroes, but you know, these Bat Riders and these Chaos Knights get out to those early EXP and gold leads. That's where they can really take over the game, right? Like if you have a Bat Rider who gets a very early Blink Dagger, especially at 5, that's when the game gets very, very hard for you. So.
Yeah, absolutely. One has to be a little careful here. He's positioning, but really wanting to make sure he doesn't allow that illusion rune. Ooh,
he's going to pay the price. Just walking into the river and just getting taken down by the supports as well as the race.
And I mean, the fact that they're getting a bunch of these kills at this stage of the game is very important, right? Like, you've got level 6 on MRLS, and that's a pretty big deal considering you've got level 4, almost level 5 on the Bat Rider. I want to see him put a little bit more emphasis into his own, at least experience that he's able to play around with. Dodges out the call nicely. Just trying to be annoying at this stage. But yeah, if he's level 6, then you probably aren't able to get those Pango rolls off quite so easily. You're just going to lasso him every single time.
Just puts a little bit of extra pressure back on the side of Liga. And you can just see Yu's just doing such a good job at constantly sticking up towards his top side, keeping that farm rotating, going through. Has just popped the Metamorphosis once again. We'll continue to put this pressure back on the Fortnite Man, so he can't rotate off this top side of the map and try and help out Mirage, who is now falling back into the stacks in the jungle. So building towards that Kalmychata.
Malik's getting way too much, way too many stacks going uncontested. More being built up as well. He's got the chipped vest as well as the blade mail finished up at 11 minutes. Not even a naked one as well. He's got the phase boots to be able to combine together with it. Again, yes, the Sven is farming, but I don't think you really care that much, just because you are going to have ways to be able to deal with him once you get some of those early items. So he just got the blade mail finished right then, and he's already got 750 gold on top of it. So this is looking like being... Honestly, if he's really on point, I guess he doesn't really have the stacks to be able to do what I was saying. Could you potentially contest with a Blink Dagger the 14-minute Wisdom Rune on the Kalmychata side of the map? Probably not. He probably doesn't have the real estate to be able to do that at this stage. But definitely like 15 and a half minute siege creeps, looking to try and play around those to be able to win a team fight and then take a tower. That's absolutely a possibility.
See if they want to play around those timings. So right now, very slow start for both these two teams, as you were saying, Matt, just wanting to sit back and farm here for the side of Liga. Just holding on to this pressure right now.
They're just trying to bait someone to come in to defend this. Good use of his illusions, though, on the top side by you. Just trying to keep Fortnite Man away. If he ends up going in here, SF could look to join in, but he's just used a couple of his Shadow Razors, so I'm not sure if they would have the damage to kill the TB anyway.
Especially with the Falcon Blade plus the full Yasha completed. It's got a lot of stats that are floating around now, so that extra armor, yes, it is quite a lot of magic damage that can go through, so have to be careful of that.
Look at this smoke coming through, though. They're trying to find someone that's looking to pick up some farm. They would have loved it to be Rinsick, but won't be the case. They'll just be able to take a Bat Rider kill.
Yeah, I was looking for the Sven, but Rinsick is very deep in the jungle right now. Just hitting some of those creeps and trying to stay on top of the CS charts.
I'm going to need to see a little bit more happening from Kalmychata, though. Like, they've just been perhaps a bit too passive. Oracle just sitting up here trying to not allow this tower to go for free, but I think he's going to have to concede this one. Although using his Phantasm Illusion just for scouting.
Yeah, I can't imagine them contesting that. So just trying to build towards some of these early items here for Kalmychata. Just trying to get that 8th lens there for Ponlo, as well as the Blink Dagger up early on here for Fortnite Man. So with that extra tower, they get themselves ever so close. I'd imagine it's pretty much go time once they get the Blink and even close towards an 8th lens for Ponlo.
So again, I don't think they'll be able to get there in time, but it is that 14-minute Blink Dagger that I was talking about before. So this is kind of nuts from Malik to be at this stage. Do they have a smoke to be able to play around with? That's the real question that I have, because they just took mid tower, so it's not like they need to play around that. Bottom tower is probably going to die soon anyway. Right now, Erase just wants to stick around for the power rune. Gets a haste. Nice.
Okay. Ponlo just walks out of harm's way.
But I mean, he's who you want to get caught by this. Like, this is... letting a CK die is totally fine. You don't want this courier to be scouted out, for example, returning back.
He was close, but didn't get caught. So you do survive if you're the Shadow Fiend, but you do lose another member in Ponlo once again. A lot of deep wards come out here from Liga, and they're just putting the pedal to the metal. They're just going to leave you to his own devices, it seems, and they're just going to try and run around as this 4-man death squad.
I mean, they're pinging Fortnite Man, and he's doing a good job of shoving in this top side of the map, but he's got a Blink Dagger. So I'm wondering, like, at what stage are they actually ready to try and play around that? I mean, you've got... Okay, this is probably it, right? Blink Dagger on the Sven. Bat Rider, he's got Urn, doesn't have Blink or anywhere close to it, but I think that's totally fine. He's just trying to put a lot of attention onto himself, and yeah, they're going to instantly go for a smoke here, look to try and connect with Mirage, and... hold on, just having a look at this Observer Ward that sees the courier move down to the bottom-hand side of the map, so they have a rough idea of where Rinsik is looking to try and play. He's just going to use himself as bait, I think, in the lane, knowing that the rest of the team is hanging behind him. Ooh. I was wondering if he might go for that Blink Arena. Would have caught 2 at that stage, but won't be able to do it just yet. Doesn't seem like they're fully connected with what actual objective they want. I mean, they just moved across the map and had a potential for a 5-man team fight. Maybe they think they're further behind than they actually are. They've actually got a net worth lead at the moment.
I mean, especially with how far ahead Rinsik is, like, surely you got to be feeling pretty strong if you're the Sven right now. Blink Echo Mob at 15 minutes. Maybe seeing now with the Terrorblade, he's just picked up the Mantis Tower, you're feeling like might not be that far ahead. Malik's had a very, very good start, so you're feeling like everybody else is a little bit behind the 8 ball in comparison to that Axe. But, as you said, not being able to connect onto that objective just yet. You're going to continue to go out to push a lot of these creep waves away. So Fortnite Man, I believe he got a glimpse of a race there. Does not have Blink Arena just yet, so they don't really have anybody to connect with this either. They are trying to get themselves into position here. And Kalmychata, God Strength, they're going to go in. They're going to see if they can take down the Pango. Nice quick little kill there onto Erase. Now, looking towards the next couple of motions here. Ponlo getting very, very close to this. Just going to throw out the lasso there onto Amorales. And Malik will jump in onto Ponlo. Doesn't really get much done, but now with the God Strength still available here for Rinsik, they will take down Malik. And that's a lot of gold now going in the pocket here of Kalmychata. And surely they're going to be feeling good now.
They're going to be feeling a whole lot better off the back of that. You know, this was really the timings that they were hoping for. The quick blink in, burst down. And, I mean, to be able to catch out, maybe they were just waiting for a higher priority, more killable even target, because, you know, you compare the Pango to the Axe. Axe has about 20 armor. Pango, I guess, has pretty similar, but 600 less health to be able to play around with. So, considering how impactful a Pango can be in the middle of a team fight, and, you know, they have the potential to be able to wipe him out in the 3 seconds that it takes for a TP to happen. So, looking not too bad, as Fortnite Men should still be okay, but again, I'm just continue to be impressed with how well Yu is able to play around the map with this Terrorblade, right? Like, he never just rests on his laurels and is just a farming TB, or just a pushing TB, or just a fighting TB. He does it all, and that's why it was, in my eyes, still a very, very worthy first pick for the team.
Seems like he does have quite a lot of responsibilities on his shoulders right now. And we'll see whether or not he can deliver for the team this game. So far, they're definitely not down and out, but the TB is the insurance policy. They're looking to see if they can potentially continue to push towards this bottom side and try and find a little bit of a stronghold here for Liga.
Actually,
more emphasis on this tier 2 tower, Pon low.
Yeah, has to be a little careful, especially playing around that creep wave when there's an axe around, but doesn't look like he'll be punished at this stage.
Yeah, looks like they're trying not to dive these tier 2 towers. It is very spicy kind of place on the map to be jumping into, especially onto a Chaos Knight. All it takes is for him to survive Mars. Heated hope, but they've been able to find out Fortnite, man. Then comes to terrorizing the Fortune's End as well. They do have to slam.
Oh, big combo.
Mirage gets it done, gets the fear as well, and Malik just bounces into the arena of blood. Fortnite man will walk away as he pops the L dance and says, "See you later to Liga." They're going to look to see if they can take down a race here who will be able to get away for now. Ike with the bounce back into the lasso, and it's Kalmychata who get 4-4-0.
Yeah, you just see the combination coming through there with the CK double stun, right? It just means that blink in, Requiem is just so much faster.
He's found you on the bottom side of the map. He's very, very low here on Fortnite, man, so they have to be very, very careful. They do not have the Requiem of Souls, and you will just walk in and say, "Thank you so much for that." They are
feels like they're just trying to bait.
Careful about how low they are staying here. Ponlo's going to come across. They have to be careful about the sun here. Beautiful little man to dodge there onto the Chaos Bolt, and Ponlo is just walking into a meat grinder.
Yep.
And they
knows how to play the TB. I mean, it could have been just such a... I mean, they got a little bit greedy, and they even get another. Amaryllis just gets a solo kill onto the Shadow Fiend to be able to clean that one up. So what was looking like something great for Kalmychata suddenly turns into, it was all right, just considering there was a bit of an unforced error coming through there.
Yeah, you could see, obviously, trying to make that play there onto you, they just didn't have the lockdown. They didn't have the arena. They got the Mars Spear to cancel the TP. But after that, you have to be very, very careful about playing around the Sunder.
I think it's fine if the Sven's there, but he wasn't. He was on the complete other side of the map with... Oh, hold on. Speaking of Sven, I was about to say I thought he might look to try and engage a little earlier, but maybe they'll still be able to pick up the kill onto Malik.
So Kalmychata, they're still going to try and fight here. So Fortnite man drops down the arena of blood, but with Rin 6 BKB starting to wear out here, does not want to try and go back in and fight. They at least get the false proms coming out there as well. So Mirage, beautiful blink Requiem is able to catch out both of the supports, takes them down with a few clicks of the razors. And Kalmychata fighting around each other. A very nice set of execution. They're looking nice and strong here, Kalmychata, albeit except for that small little unforced error against you.
Yeah, it happens. They're going to be able to get a Tormentor off the back of it, and probably not going to go for the TB kill once again. Nice little bonus there with the sticky napalm now dealing some structural damage. So if you really wanted to get cheeky with this Blink Dagger, I could potentially try and get a little bit of that going. It's a 7k net worth lead now, just 21 minutes in, and this is just a stack for fun, basically, but it's looking pretty solid.
I think there's a lot of good synergies and a lot of good individual skill for a lot of these players as well. So definitely could be a recipe for success, but as we said throughout the entirety of this broadcast, there are some absolute juggernauts that are waiting in the rest of this region. So being able to get through Liga team is step one, and they still have.
So I'm just trying to think.
To get through as well.
We've had a couple of fights now that have gone against Liga team off the back of Blink Requiem, basically. So BKB is the item that they're going to need to have to be able to contest this, but Axe is the only one that's got it completed. It's coming out on the courier right now. So that's the area that I'm a little concerned about, because if you don't pre-pop that BKB, the Chaos Bolt stun is long enough that with the Yasha and Kaya, with the cast range reduction, it's going to be enough to be able to burst through before you're able to pop it during the stun. Ooh, they
trouble
the mark.
here. They do miss on the Arena of Blood, but they've got more than enough damage to be able to deal with it. And that is a beautiful use of the Arena of Blood to keep Ark alive as well. So they God Strength and they take down a Pango. But you probably more than say that was worth, especially with Erase being another call for the side of Liga.
Yeah, losing a tier 2 is not amazing, but I think they'll be happy enough to concede that one. I mean, all of their team fight essentially was used, though, on Kalmychata, as actually Mirage getting caught out here.
Yeah, he got found by Malik. He has to be very, very careful. Wants to try and pump the Requiem, but with the BKB being popped here by Malik, they're going to have to try and use everything to get their Shadow Fiend out alive, and they do. So Malik uses the BKB here, and there's not really much that they can do with it, and they will just disengage here. So Kalmychata are in a very, very good position. They got a lot of resources out of Liga. They didn't lose anything for it.
It's an 8k net worth lead, but I really still feel like this game could go either way. Like, it just takes one really good team fight for both of them, and I feel like Yu is farmed enough that he's just going to be able to run down a lane, take out another tier 2 tower. I mean, you've got the glyph refreshed, sure, but to me now this starts to swing towards, all right, top Roshan. That's really where both teams are going to be putting a lot of their focus. And I'd have to say it's advantage Kalmychata because they've still got their tier 1 tower to be able to TP to in case, you know, buybacks are needed. They've probably got a slight... They actually don't have a... They've got a bit of a vision advantage, I'd say, around the pit area. So maybe the priority for them is just going to be shove out mid, shove out top, get ready for Roche because it's coming top in the next 30 seconds.
Yeah, it seems like that will be the next point of contention. Both have pretty good teams at playing around
solo kill
the Roche pit as well. And as you said, Bomber with the solo kill.
Ooh, just dodges out the call.
Extra illusions. And Mr. Ponlo gets himself a big thumbs up from the team as well. Just a Chaos Bolt and a whole bunch of illusions. Pops the Phantasm, says see you later.
Yeah, he got a bit lucky with the Phantasm there. Was able to create 3 off the back of it with his innate. Down bottom, they're very deep in here. I'm not sure if they're willing to pop Rolling Thunder just to kill Ponlo, though. And again, this is the advantage of playing with something like a Chaos Knight. You're just so tanky. You're pretty fast as well at being able to, you know, get away from a lot of these gank attempts. And even now, he's able to put a couple of points into the Chaos Strike where you might be able to get the lifesteal if you're lucky from a quick right-click and being able to escape off the back of that. But even just the order that he's gone for these components of the Aghanims. Point booster, Ograx. Like, he wants to make sure that he's just that much harder to kill at the very start. And I feel like Fortnite Man's kind of in a similar boat where he's gone the tough enchantment just for that little bit of extra armor, for example, to be able to not die to the TB and the Pangolier. But looks like it's going to be gank attempt into Roshan is the name of the game. Still very risky to just walk on in there. Just use the CK illusions for scouting.
We'll smoke them up. See if they get eyes on anything. We'll see a race at the top side of the map. 30 seconds till he has a TP, but by then the smokes will fade. Haven't got the vision of anybody just yet. They'll leave one. Alright, they're looking towards the bottom side, and it looks like Rinsick has been able to find the Dark Willow. Morales will unfortunately bite the dust.
And they get the D-ward off as well.
Thought Fortnite Man got a little glimpse of where Respect was going. He did. So he finds the Oracle in the trees. He pins him to a tree. And Mirage says, thank you for the soul.
Still not enough, though, to be able to go into the Roche pick. But I feel like you've got pretty great wards down. You've got to take advantage of that. So if they can look to try and play around this top side, they will absolutely look to do so. Not sure if Erase is going to be able to catch up to that creep wave. So he might need to just bank on cutting the next wave coming on this top side of the map and maybe using the glyph to be able to prevent that, but they're actually looking to just say, screw it. Let's just run into this Roche pit, especially now that they see the Pangolier is nowhere near the team fight. So that's just going to give them the confidence.
They 100% found him. They found a race in the bottom side of the map, and they were able to get him. Fortnite, man, shout out. Gets the Blink Spear. They get the Roche as well. They take another core, and I mean, Kalmychata, they are dotting their I's, crossing their T's, and charging to a game 1 victory.
To be able to get both of those things is kind of nuts. You know, I thought they might have to commit to either one or the other, but they just get it all. You've also got a BKB, though, coming out now for you with level 20, with amp damage, so they didn't really use anything huge, though, to be able to make that happen. Maybe just thinking that Sven is going to be back and looking to pick up some farm, which is true.
Okay.
The God Strength isn't available. I don't know if you want to go in on this. They will, though.
Fire here onto you. He pops the BKB. Do they have the extra bit of damage? No, they do not. He turns around with the Sunder as well as the False Promise. BKB's popped a plenty. The Amplified Damage Rune is still starting to run here on this Terrorblade. You have to be very, very careful here if you are Rensick. Ponlo just cops the clicks and goes down. They've been able to find out the Sven. The first life goes down. Metamorphs is still ready BKB, and raring to go. And there's a lot of time to be able to play around in a lot of these fights as well. You walks forward, wants to try and find the Sven once again. So, Kalmychata in a dominant position, but Liga just say, no, we are going to catch you unawares. And they take down Fortnite, man, and they thought it was a good fight for them. But with the BKB being popped by you, it was just all over Red Rover.
It's just the Sven with no God Strength. That was the difference maker, right? Like, extra 190%. Maybe you get lucky with an extra Daedalus crit off the back of that, and you does die. But certainly not the case. You even had the Gale Guard available as well to be able to withstand a little bit of that damage coming through as well. So I think they just need to be a little smarter about, like, yes, you've got some great combinations, but it's gotten to the point now where the CK stun plus Requiem isn't going to be enough. You need the Sven there to be able to take out this TB. He's way too big. And he's even going into a Butterfly next, so as soon as that's revealed, you would have to imagine that MKB is going to need to be on the list. As I hear a Rolling Thunder, it's just onto a pos 5 though.
Yeah, take down Ike here on the Batrider, who's trying to
top lane. Fortnite, man.
Waves on the bottom side.
I feel like players are getting much better at that. You know, they reveal on the lane, they hit the tower for 2.9 seconds, and then they TP away. So even if your TP rotation is instant, you're still going to get away.
Yeah. Just the amount of times people being caught by those TP rotations, they've finally started to develop the min-max.
I feel like Tormentor should be coming up pretty shortly as well. I think it was taken around the 21-ish minute mark, 21:30 maybe. So would love to get that for Fortnite, man, in particular.
Seems like Kalmychata are definitely looking towards it.
But I mean, look at those couple of big pickups. Aghanim Scepter plus the Daedalus coming through from the TB. Can't imagine there's too many more items that you're really looking to try and save up for. If the time is now for Liga to try and make something happen. They just need to make sure that the lanes are shoved in enough that any sort of movement that they make isn't going to be too obvious. Smoke coming out here from the Willow. Yeah, now's not the time to farm, Malik. Now's the time to go. But no one really is revealing on the map. Having a look at Liga's perspective, completely dark on the map right now. Fortnite Man briefly shows, and that's where they're going to make a beeline for.
Seeing if they can find the Mars here. He is unfortunately left on an island. So Fortnite Man will try his best. He's going to BKB an Arena.
Alright, maybe thought the boys were coming. I mean, maybe he was just trying to buy some... Oh, just able to get away on the Sven there as they were taking the Tormentor. At least Fortnite Man gets the Aghanim Shard from that, so not the worst. Has to be very careful of sticking around on the bottom side though, Rensick, because he is standing right next to the Tormentor. He just walked past a dire active Watcher as there is no SF here, and there's no Oracle there anymore either.
Yeah, just use the double combos, blink in, lasso, Requiem, see you later. Again, it seems like there's a lot of counter punches that are going between both these two teams. It feels like one team gets a small advantage, the other one comes in with a counter punch. We kind of go back to this even state of equilibrium, where it doesn't really feel like either team is starting to pull ahead. And I agree with you. It feels like the net worth chart is a little misleading, just because of how strong it feels like you is. Same with the Sven, to be perfectly honest with you. I feel like both of these two carries are both in that kind of godhood area where if they're left unchecked in a team fight, they will literally kill everyone. And there's not much you can do about it. So,
yeah. I do have to wonder though, like, now you've got the arena coming back up in 2 seconds. You've got the BKB coming back up in 5 seconds for the Mars. You've shoved out this top lane effectively, and he's got the Aghanim Shard now as well. Ponlo's got his Aghanim Scepter, so is this now the point where you look to make a move of your own, stick Fortnite Man out there as like, oh, he's bait, he's really killable, but then you get the reveal of that Aghanim Scepter, and then suddenly, you know, when you look to commit Blink Call, Rolling Thunder onto him, you've got that extra second or two that you need just to be able to survive. But I'm a little worried that Mirage isn't there with the rest of the team. They need this damage. Oh, he doesn't get the false promise off.
And they just delete absolutely everyone. Now Malik's been called out as well. They do have that BKB to be able to try and play around with though, so Malik is able to at least run away from it. Ponlo does hit that Phantasm, gets everybody out of dodge for now. Will eventually lose his life though, so it's not like it is all for naught.
Oh, one hit
forward. And that was a big old shot coming in from Rinsik.
I want to guess, how much damage do you think it did?
He has 1200 HP, so I would say...
It was more than 1200, a lot more.
2200?
2378.
Damn.
In one hit. God damn. God Strength's nearly off, though, so... And he does have level 25. I'm not sure if that was off the kill or beforehand, but yeah, that extra 50% God Strength damage is pretty deadly. Yeah, I mean, I didn't see exactly what happened in the previous fight. I thought Oracle might have been able to get off the false promise, but I think perhaps part of that was Fortnite Man getting the arena off and just limiting the vision that the Oracle had at the time, so he couldn't actually false promise the Pango.
Quickly looking up and seeing the indicator of no vision.
Afterwards, yes, I just thought he had like maybe 1 second to turn around and ulti the Pango, but maybe it wasn't enough.
Yep, that's a big crit. That's a one tap.
So what's he going for? He's going for Abyssal Blade next. Okay, don't hate it. I mean, that's one way to be able to stop the freaking Sunder from coming through.
Next cosmetic idea, Valve. This one you're getting for free. Overkill, like skin. You overkill someone and it shows you. Like how much
Where does it show?
Like on top of the person that you kill. Like a PA like sword on the Arcana. But it's like, ooh, alright, I heard a lasso. And that means that Ike is able to blow up Morales.
Ponlo, a little bit in danger if he ventures too much further forward. Should be okay. Everyone's going to... Well,
they're trying to fight for the top side, though. A race. Able to walk forward. Fortnite Man pops that BKB. Does have the TP available. They're going to go in and fight, and it looks like Rinsik is going to come
false
in
promise
and
again.
Just delete him. He was halfway through the animation there. For respect. He tried. Just wasn't there in time. It's a lot of damage that comes in from the Sven. It looks like the Demon Zeal just to get themselves away. So respect just ever so close to getting that false promise off. I think if he gets that false promise off, that's just like a turn fight, and they just kill Rinsik as well.
Yeah.
So
they oftentimes are running pretty low on TPs on Liga team though. Like I don't think Malik was there to be able to join in just because he was lacking it at the time. But now with I mean, there wasn't really anything huge popped other than, I guess God Strength is pretty big still at this stage of the game. I don't know. I feel like even without it, you know, it's gotten to the stage where Rinsik is just threatening enough that that's not the be-all and end-all unless you're worried about TB specifically. Everyone else can still just two-shot him.
Mm-hmm. And also get to the point where it's going to have to be this dance between both of the two carries where they're both as petrified of each other at one point. So it's all really going to come down to what their teams can do around them.
So it's a really tough decision to have to make, and of course we can't see what neutral item choices they got, but Rinsik just went away from having the serrated shiv, which gives a chance for a guaranteed true strike, which is going to be great against the butterfly, but instead he went for the one that guarantees a crit. So with the giant small every 15 seconds. So you don't even need to worry about the potential for a crit coming through. You will be critting when you're looking to try and initiate. Yeah, it's probably not as much of a crit as what the other option is, but still it's pretty deadly to be able to have that option available. Smoke on smoke. Is the one getting caught out here? Nah.
They're aware.
The smoke didn't break, so they're not going to take the bait.
They are aware.
Roche is alive up top as well, and Mirage's illusion sees it.
Just seeing if there's any more of these awkward engagements between both of these two.
No smokes left on either team.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Actually, they've got another one in Ponlo's inventory as well, or his backpack.
Oh, they're going to walk up the high ground here. This is a beautiful position coming in here from L1ga. Ponlo will walk in. We'll be able to drop some wards. He gets full vision of them.
Oh, the Lotus!
That's a huge Lotus one that comes in with the Hex as well. Being able to catch out Fortnite Man. He has no BKB. There's no Phantasm for them to play around with either. Rinsik's going to go in towards the background, and that Butterfly is doing so much work already for you. And there is just nothing left for them to do here. They will just try and disengage. Ponlo's going to try his best here against the Raze. Now Mirage is going to go forward.
Finally.
Get the Requiem of Souls, and then you can just see that false promise is being able to have that disengagement. Go in, catch out Ponlo. So there will be no Chaos Knight for this fight. 54 seconds for both of these two players as they sit and watch, and L1ga team will walk into the pit.
It's all about the engagement. You know, it was what was the net worth lead at that point in time? I think it was 18k? Shrunk down to 16, and now they've got Roshan that is going to be going the way of L1ga team, as well as another pause coming through. Hopefully everything's okay with the connections coming through. Is another tip coming through. Old teammate to old teammate.
Seems like they are having some problems with some things, but looks like they're getting through it quickly. So Yu's able to deal with that and be able to get through.
Hold on. Oh, this is not good though. He just lost the gem.
The gem. Loses the courier.
2 gems now on L1ga team, which is pretty huge, honestly. Like, that was the one kind of saving grace that, oh, at least they kept their gem, but not going to be the case. And, you know, quick 6k net worth swing, even having a Satanic now available as well to be able to just stand and man fight against the Shadow Fiend. What's the BKB durations looking like? 7 seconds for TBs. Sven's down to 6. Not surprising. It's just going to need to be the case of...
really does just rely on it.
I mean, he's just going to be queuing up the... once the Abyssal Blade is there, he's going to be queuing up the fact that Blink Stun is going to be the initial, and then prior to BKB hopefully coming out. But again, it's really just about this Oracle. You know, False Promise is always going to be something that you're concerned about. So it just comes down to how disciplined is Respect. You know, he's played in a variety of regions as well, right? Despite being Belarusian, I believe. He's had time in Western Europe as well as Eastern Europe, so he doesn't have just that one play style to go from either. Maybe he learnt a few things on his time with Into the Breach, where he was able to sit back a little bit more, maybe play a little bit of a different style than what he's normally used to. What's he got coming out? I think it's Aetherlands, probably, coming out on the courier.
Extra bit of range Play a little further back. Tumbler's toy as well. With the keen-eyed, so obviously very much in the
That's a huge cast
in the
range. I
business
have
of
to
having
zoom all the
long
way
cast
out.
range.
Yeah.
It's a pretty big range, that false promise.
Yeah, and blink. It's like a full screen easily.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
All right, so again,
lot of
despite an
distance in
18k net worth lead, first team to lose all of their towers is Kalmychata,
Radiant's top
and
tower
they're just
is under attack.
sticking the beefiest boy on the front lines. Hold on, they get the right TB.
They are going to drag him all the way in. Beautiful disconnection there with the Arena of Blood coming in from Fortnite Man. They do take down Respect in the background. Malik God's absolutely deleted. Now they're going to see if they can try and win this fight here against you. They will be able to take down the Terrorblade in his first life. No Metamorphosis now for the Terrorblade, and he's stuck inside of the base. He will just...
Bash.
It's the bash though, and that is a big kill there for Rinsick. He's going to stand and fight and see if he can win this, but he will just do a lot of damage to the Sven, and that will be it. It is
It's all about the initiation.
losing these first couple of fights as they try and walk up towards the high ground, and they are just now reeling at the chance of potentially trying to take this game number one.
Tip is incredibly warranted there for Ike. I mean, that is not the fight that you are going to get without that amazing lasso. You know, you see the Manta split, he sees which one is the real one, grabs it, and just the burst damage potential. Even a really nice false promise coming through, probably a little bit late on the arena coming through from Fortnite Man, not able to deny away a lot of that vision, but it's just not enough at the end of the day. The damage output from the Sven and the SF is just enormous.
Yeah, it's
They'll
just...
finally get their own tier 2 tower.
This is the power of the Batrider, right? Like, it's been like this for, I mean, as long as I've been watching Dota 2, you know, pretty much being able to just catch someone with lasso and just being able to have these heroes that just do so much burst damage, and that's kind of the power of the draft that you've got here for Kalmychata, is just the fact that this Sven, if he just gets time to beat down on the Terrorblade, even though he has Satanic, even though that he has Butterfly and all this other stuff, it's just very, very easy for him to chop through that. There's no fight.
I mean,
Dire's bottom
this is the way that I want to see Batriders being played as well as a support, right? Like, he didn't just sit back and passively farm and take away, you know, his cause farm. He got out there. He was really aggressive with the farm that he was able to pick up. He was always, like, preventing the tower from going down too easily, enabling Sven to actually take the safe farm. Like, that's the sort of gameplay that I want to see. Sure, the flashy stuff can happen in fights, but it's just that basic understanding of, oh, hold on, they're pinging out where exactly he is, but they're not really in a position to do anything about it right now, as he's even got a BKB now on Ike. So when he goes in for these deep jumps, the only way that they're going to be able to stop him is an axe call.
And that's just, you know, being able to have that as a response, especially when, you know, a lot of the time it's blinking for stuff instantaneously.
And even if he does call,
chance.
I wouldn't be surprised if he outworld staffs himself as well, just to be able to dodge the axe call. Like, it's a possibility, honestly, with how well he's playing.
That's something. That would be something. So it looks like Ponlo is just spamming the Ags off cooldown to push out waves. No, don't
Push out waves, give a lot of information through as well as another DC coming through. Ooh. Malik will take it too. Maybe things affecting Kazakhstan at this point in time. Who knows?
Potentially. So hopefully all the players can get back in the next couple of moments and we can get back into this game of Dota, which has turned into a very interesting game. Considering how strong that Kalmychata looked in the early couple
What's
of...
the win prob? 80%. Yeah, seems about right.
Yeah.
I'm a little surprised that they haven't put more emphasis onto taking this Tormentor. Just because you've still got 3 heroes in Kalmychata that don't have Shard, and SF is one of them. You know, with how well he's being able to use the Shadow Razors at this stage, and the fact that he's got the Dazoon Bloodright tier 4 item that increases the area of effect, that seems pretty huge to me.
Yeah, especially with the combinations that he's been able to pump out in a lot of these fights. You know, even potentially being able to give the Sven shard as well. I mean, it's you know, at the end of the day, it's a bit of a freebie, but it just kind of helps a lot of these other heroes survive, especially when you have like all these different illusions and all these other kind of tankier heroes against something like a Terrorblade, where that feels like that's where a lot of their damage does come from, is the TB and the physical damage. So if you keep them alive, and can go a long way in these team fights. So
Are they trying to bait this Tormentor? Because yeah, okay, a few people are coming down here to the bottom side as well. I'm sure they're saying to Rinsick, bro, you're farmed enough. Get over here. Let us get this this Aghanim shard. He's so much more valuable. It's about 3 hits it, yep. Yeah, probably the worst of all the heroes gets it, to be honest. I mean, it is nice to, I suppose, push out waves a little bit.
I mean, it can, you know, potentially be that that extra bit of damage that pushes them over the edge, getting a kill on the Terrorblade. You never know.
Sure, let's go with that.
Trying to be
I wouldn't mind a
optimistic
Boots of
here.
Bearing from him, actually. Would be pretty great.
I like the AC choice.
It is
but I do agree with you. I think the Boots of Bearing would do a lot of work for them in these fights. Because I guess it is one of those items that the Sven wants, but doesn't really have the inventory space for.
It's just a matter of who's going to make a mistake first. I mean, you got to know that something's happening here on Liga with how deep that top and mid lane are pushing in. Someone's going to need to respond to this.
They see it in
Far away from the team.
BKB. Ooh,
He's just trying to bait out abilities right now, and they've gotten out the Rolling Thunder, but he's got a refresher on Pango, so it's not the guarantee that you might expect. He's also got Dazoon Blood, right? So it's a lot wider stun radius of that Rolling Thunder. Someone's going to need to deal with this top lane. It is way too strong. It's the 45-minute creep wave, so you've got the double siege there as well. And that's the one that was being hit into previously. Ooh, no.
Yeah, Fortnite Man losing his
He's still got
refresher
buyback.
courier.
He didn't have the components of it, so it's fine. Again, one of the advantages of the CK Ags, you can just use the illusions to push out the waves. You don't need to put anyone in a risky position, as it's actually TB that TP's back. No vision of him at this point, but once he reveals there, wonder if that'll be an instant ping and they'll just try and sweep across the map and maybe take tier 2 top. Maybe wait for the TB to just push out a little bit too far. Don't think that Yu is going to put himself in harm's way anytime soon. What item is he going to get rid of, by the way, for this Swift Blink? Don't know. BKB? Hold on, who have they found?
Oh, look who they found. It's the Pango. Malik's the next one on the bucket list for the side of Kalmychata. They will go in towards the OD stuff, but it's just not going to do enough. It's like half a second.
He could have used the false promise there, but deemed it not worthwhile. Hold on. Might be able to see the Willow.
Morales. Doesn't catch. It's very hard to check out the mini-map with all these different fake Svens and real Svens. And
These two don't have buyback, by the way, for a minute. That's pretty enormous. Like, if they realize this, they could very easily look to get 2 lanes of racks minimum.
they're out by a couple hundred gold. So the question is right now for Kalmychata is what kind of fight do they want to take here? Looks like Fortnite Man was a little bit on the aggressive. He's put himself in a pretty bad spot.
Ends up getting a Greater Lotus fed over to him. And Yu looks like he just wants to try and cut this creep wave as much as possible. Get that backdoor protection kicking back in, but they'll get 1 lane of racks. Will they go for a second?
Actually could be looking for a second. They want to try and get this fight going. That's a Hex that goes out for the BKB. Nice little use there by Yu. They do get respect there by the corner of the Requiem. They aren't able to collect onto the Oracle. And it looks like it's all just a little bit of fun and games. But they're taking down respect now with on the buyback. They're looking to try and get this kill here onto the Terrorblade. He pots his attack, but it doesn't matter. He got booped away from Ike, and they're able to clean him up. And now into the Shadow Realm. Go
Penguin Axe are coming.
the Dark Willow. They've been able to come back into this fight. Malik will blink in. It's only
All
illusions that he catches. They're all going to buy back. They want to try and get this fight going. They're just going to leave Ponlo to his own devices, and it's the Chaos Knight. That is the only prize that Liga gets out of this. They lose Elena Rax. They lose their buybacks. And not much else for it. But maybe, just maybe here, Matt, this buyback can be worth it. No BKB and no God Strength for the next 50 seconds.
Yeah, I suppose they're going to need to go straight into the Roche pit, though, if you're assuming that they've used absolutely everything. You've also bought up all of the... hold on, Mars, farming underneath an Observer Ward.
No, Fortnite Man was stuck in no man's land, and he is dead.
He can buy back,
the
though.
buyback.
Yep.
So if they see this, they have a nice little ward there as well. Good little creep cut there coming in from Ike as well. So they will at least see them walk through the river.
I think he might want to buy back pretty damn soon.
They have smoked up. They're walking their way over there. He does not have boots of travel, so his TP is going to be to a tier 3 tower. He's going to take ages to get here.
See Axe. They see Axe.
They're going to get, as you said, they found Malik and they blow him up. They have not used the buyback just yet, and that is a one-tap once again by Rinsick. Fortnite Man, ice in his veins, not buying back just yet, understanding how important it can be.
God, how many smokes do they have? It feels like they've got an unlimited supply, but that's the last one that they've got for Kalmychata.
Hoarding them. How much longer do we have left on the God Strength? Not that much time left here on the God Strength, so this is time to go, but it looks like they've scared them out of the pit. They've been able to buy the time and hold on to the buyback of Fortnite Man.
Lasso still has 10 seconds left on it, otherwise I feel like they might have gone for an attempt there, as it's a very ballsy move in.
Yeah, and they're just walking towards the pit. The Sven's going to be able to get the Aegis here. They've taken down Ike. As you said, it was a ballsy move, but it opened up the space for the Roche. Rinsick, he doesn't have enough space for everything. The
That's
banner.
fine. I think
leave the banner.
He's just baiting.
They want to see what this fight is going to pan out here. Ponlo walks in, gets the Crimson Guard going. Malik's about half HP. They have to be very, very careful about where these fights go. The BKBs get popped. Malik is able to dodge it out by the OD Sphere. See what fight they can get going, and they have just walked up onto the high ground and tried to catch out you, but you gets himself away from the fight. Now let's see if they can take down this Terrorblade. Puts the BKB, wants to try and stand a fight outside of the Blood Arena, but it won't be enough.
Over.
He loses his life to the Abyssal Blade, and GG is called. Liga lose game 1. And Ponlo and the crew march towards game number 2 after a confident victory.
A very confident victory. 0 deaths for Rinsick as well on the Sven. It really is starting.
Yeah, you may catch Mirage in a couple of times, but you have to be very, very careful about utilizing it on him if the Omni Knight is around. So there's a lot of good avenues that we've got here for Kalmychata, but I also am really enjoying this Liga draft. Obviously, outside of the support duo, that's something that I think I can kind of look past for this game. I just kind of like the way that they can kind of play around all of their team fight ultis. I think if all 5 of their heroes are pressing their spells, I know that sounds kind of stupid, but if all 5 of their heroes are pressing their spells in a team fight, it feels pretty hard to fight into. You know, like a lot of these ultimates are very kind of scary, and there's a lot of things that can go right for them.
What about this first team fight, potentially?
Let's see. So Mirage is the one that's going to walk forward. Ike is basically just challenging them. Everyone just said, all right, see you later, mate. And they say goodbye.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how this one plays out. I think a big part of the success is going to be off the back of Mirage specifically. I mean, this is a great Mage Slayer game. You know, when you consider you're going up against a Kunkka with Tidebringer, remember it's the spell damage that you're reducing, so that's going to be incredibly effective at just reducing a lot of the damage coming back that way. I'm really interested to see how Malik is going to go in his lane as well, considering, again, going up against a couple of strength heroes. As an Undying, shouldn't have any issue with picking up a ton of farm here. It's just a matter of where is the actual kill threat going to come from.
Alright, so Ponlo and Fortnite Man just tried to put the pressure on you as he was going for the creep block here, so they are just going to push the creeps underneath the tower here for Mr. Fortnite Man to actually get himself that rebound of the next wave. So See how these lanes go. Mirage versus Erase. Mirage did a good job in the first game. There was a little bit more of the support rotations coming in the favor of Erase. So have to keep mindful of that in this Puck versus Ember matchup.
Polo's been so annoying. He brought Respect down to like 50% HP already, and it meant that he wasn't actually able to get the block off onto that hard camp the first time around. So very nicely done, and he's just trying to harass them from afar as long as he can, although he misses that Shadow Realm hit, but
Yeah,
you know what? No one's perfect.
It's alright. We'll forgive it. With a lot of these lanes going relatively well so far for Liga. Morales is doing a good job of just making sure that Ike is just not able to get in his face. And I guess that is kind of the positive of changing around how these heroes are situated in the game, right? Like making Malik having this this core undying just means that having this range support, he can actually start to play this lane properly and put a lot of pressure on Rinsick, because that's one of the big things that we saw in that first game, right? Was Rinsick was relatively untouched, had a decent amount of these stacks to fall back to, and was able to just farm up a storm and didn't die. So
Yep, and that's what an Undying is going to do. Like, he's kind of the anti-carry in this situation. As soon as they saw that it was, you know, the double strength, it just really sold it for them. You know, this is the way that we need to be going about this.
it is going to be a very hard lane for Rinsick, but it's all about the transition out of the lane for me for these core Undyings.
Hold on, Morales might have been in a bit of danger, but will end up getting away.
Yep.
Doesn't TP all the way back to base.
And he went to the tier 1.
Yep. Should be able to get back in time.
So the real question that I have for this Undying is what kind of build is he going to go? Is it just like auras? Like, do you just build Greaves plus Pipe and a Crimson Guard and you just kind of press some buttons? Like,
it's hard to say, right? Like, a lot of the times people like buying even a Blink Dagger just to be able to really get in there.
He's in lots of trouble here. Gets X-Marked as well, so Fortnite Man is going to get pulled back, and it will be the Tidebringer that will claim the first victim. So Fortnite Man just staying a little bit too far out there, and an early level in the X-Marks the spot. Gets the kill there for you.
Nicely done. Good value from just the 1 point into it. Actually a little surprised at how well Erase is doing in this mid lane. Most of the time you pick an Ember Spirit to be able to counter out the Puck, but it's basically a full wave of creeps ahead of this Ember Spirit right now.
He's doing a good job. Just keeping nice and even. I think the biggest thing for me is Malik is really starting to streak ahead. Right now, Rinsick, who's really starting to struggle. Potentially seeing with this fight in the bottom side, they want to try and make the go here onto Pomo, so they will get the Cold Feet, the Dark Realm, the Shadow Realm. We'll be able to at least keep Ponlo safe for now, and yeah, Rinsick is really starting to feel it. You just see Ike made that rotation towards the middle lane, trying to secure a few more of these runes, and Rinsick is just copying it, and there's not really much that he can do here. He's just trying to hope to see if they can try and get this kill here on Amorales, and they will just be able to walk out, and Rinsick will just say, see you later, and Ike, it is all up to you, buddy, to see if you can get this kill, but it's really slow. It's a little bit too much, and Ike, once again, is just copying all of this damage. So they use a lot of spells from both these two teams, and nothing really much came of it.
He's going to need to walk all the way back to base as well on the Sven just to be able to have some HP and mana to be able to contest into this lane. It's almost getting to the point where you just want the full magic wand, or, you know, that little bit of extra survivability for the lane because of how much Malik has just been spamming.
We'll see what the recovery plan is going to be here for
Cold Feet.
Cold Feet combos are doing so much work for them. Fortnite Man copying a lot of damage once again from that Tidebringer, and
Tidebringer in 1 second.
here. Close but no cigar.
I mean, Admiral's Rom is such a busted passive to give the Conqueror. It's like, well, every now and then we're just going to make you take 20% less damage. Oh, and you move faster too.
Okay, that's
helps.
a big kill to be able to get in the top lane. Ike with, what, 2 levels in Purification? Yeah, just bonked him.
I believe so. Just need the 1 point in the purity, really. You're not really going to get this right-click contest as actually in a bit of the business here is actually going in onto the end.
They get the level 6 beforehand, and that is a quick kill there from Erase. Ponlo is at least here trying to contest, but there is just so many heroes here in this mid lane, and as you said, just getting that regen rune just means that now Erase not only gets that kill, will now have full HP and mana, and Ponlo walked into a very awkward situation because he wanted to try and take Respect down and walk away, but this is his life as well, so a big early lead here for Liga.
Every single lane is going incredibly well for them.
Yep.
It's hard to see an avenue for them to be able to come back from this big of an early deficit as well. Like, I see no stacks being built up. I see, you know, you don't have a power rune to be able to play around with. No big item timings are going to be coming anytime soon. Of course, we're only 7 minutes in, but even then, like, triple bracer for Fortnite Man. He just wants to try and stay on his own in this lane for as long as possible, have a bunch of extra regen for himself, and I mean, maybe once they start getting the phase boots, they're going to have a little bit of extra damage to pump back the other way, as the race should be fine.
Just gets away from that. So, for me, it's really about these first couple of rotations, whether it be from Fortnite Man or whether it be from Mirage in that mid lane. So we'll see who walks where to take a bit of pressure off. Ike is trying to just soak up all of this experience in the top lane, trying to get towards that level 6.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
I know they're playing it for fun, but they are, I mean, not doing like the little things like swapping out their magic wand when they're using the bottle and things of that nature. So wonder if this early start might have gotten them rattled a little bit, because I know that's something that they would normally do. Hopefully,
See
for
what
their
the game
sake,
plan is.
luck's on their side. They really need this power rune to be able to deny away from the puck, most importantly, and that might mean that Mirage can just be left on his own for a little bit more, you know? Like, he doesn't need people standing right there. He's got the raindrops, he's got the bottle with a shield rune in it. Should be A-okay.
Again, fairly passive early game for both these two teams. As you said, Mirage now with that shield rune means that he can play a little bit more self-sufficient in these lanes.
Ponlo just walked past a sentry ward twice, I think. I'm not sure how he couldn't see that one. That's blocking the hard camp in the Ancients area on the Dire side, but well, fairly successful as Rinsik is even just getting bullied out by the enemy Pos 5. Lucky for him, no Ice Blast available just yet. And Ike's actually going to try and cut some waves, maybe? Try and prevent them from losing this tower early on, because Rinsik is really going to need these areas along the top side of the map to be able to farm, but they know that this is coming. They know the lane has gone very, very well, so Respect has placed an Observer Ward up near the Twin Gate, an Observer Ward that's going to, you know, catch him out when he's trying to move back and forth between those camps to farm. I think he's just trying to double up these waves so that it does push in a little bit more aggressively.
Deal with this as much as you can, and again, Fortnite Man just goes down in the bottom side. Full boat torrent combination, and Yu is just at such a high level right now. It's very hard for them to try and contest him.
Again, it just comes down to like, what do they do is the thing for me. Like, how are you supposed to come back into this? We've got Mirage going for a Blade Mail coming through next, so is that going to be what recovers this game for you? Are you just going to really... I mean, we know that they're good at like dangling themselves out there as like something threatening. Actually gets the amp damage as well on Mirage.
I'm going to try and see if they can get this extra kill here onto Erase, but with the extra pressure... Oh! Oh, Mirage. Very, very close.
Didn't end up using the magic wand just yet. Would that have been enough? No. Gonna chip best with some mana regeneration, so wouldn't have had that extra damage needed to be able to take out the puck. Still, they've done a pretty good job over the past 2 power runes to be able to deny them away from Erase. Of course, kill would be better.
They're going to try and make the go here onto the Dirge, and they will put a lot of emphasis on trying to take him down. And they will eventually get rid of him. They give it to Mirage, and they will give the Tombstone to Rinsick. And Ceaseless Dirge does mean that Malik will respawn.
Punker's in an
Is Malik
arena,
aware
but...
that he respawned?
Okay, eventually.
Just he was
Fortnite Man just-
AFK for a moment. Again, Fortnite Man goes down.
But it was inside the Radiant jungle. You know, it's not like he died in the lane, so it does drag you away a little bit from that area. And by the way, he is going for a Radiant on this Kunkka, so already super hard to kill, and he's got a lot of that passive damage coming through as well.
Yeah, I like it.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Somehow, though, the net worth lead is shrinking
Radiant structures
as a result of all of this. I mean, mostly the result of Sven just being able to have a little bit of time to be able to run back into the jungle. I think he might have got that doubled up creep wave at the time that was pushing in, although, like, in a bit of a precarious position here.
I was going to see if we can TP away here, but they've got enough damage to be able to take him down. The repel and the TP out was a bit ambitious. So,
Still though, like, you had to use Dream Coil for that, and AA Blast, and you got the Power Rune. Erase misses the Brambles, so able to survive through that one, otherwise he might have been in a little bit of danger. So little wins coming through, like, yes, Ike dies, but it's your 5, that's kind of your job. Your Sven is farming, you used a couple of ultimates, they have only just taken their first tower. So it's not really out of the question for Kalmychata to be in a reasonable position at, let's say, the 15 or so minute mark. I mean, you still haven't got any of your first big items coming through just yet. Blade Mail in about 500 gold for the Ember Spirit. Fortnite Man working towards a Link Dagger for himself. Still about 1600 gold away, so it'll be quite some time. And Rinsick still only has the Mask of Madness to be able to play around with, so still plenty of potential for scaling. And they're just going to put Rinsick out here as Fortnite Man, unfortunately for his sake, goes down for a 5th time, 0, 5, and 0.
yeah, 0, 5, 0 is not a start that you want here on Fortnite Man. Oh my god, what a beautiful dead shot there from Morales. And they do not want to have that smoke. Walking up into the high ground, you've got no vision. Walking into a pot can be very, very scary, so they will just TP out. Unfortunately, and Morales has the dead shot. So Ponlo, you will be the sacrifice.
Or
So
even get the D-Ward off as well. Made sure to place it on the low ground so it would be out of range of the sentry up on that high ground, but another sentry just ends up getting rid of that one. So how quickly things change. 2k net worth lead, balloons out to 4 once again.
and it's just at the point where, you know, you're going to see a few more of these items start to come up for Liga. We've already got the full armlet getting ever so close to that Radiance. Like, EU is just going to be such a problem. Would have loved to have seen Malik go for a halberd instead of Crimson Guard early on here, but Crimson fulfills the same role.
Maybe
Just
just
I feel
thinking
Crimson's
that,
better against lots of small instances of physical damage rather than small
like
amounts of
more
large
defensive
physical
bluff,
damage.
yeah. I get what you mean. Maybe it's
the
just
same
for his own survivability, you
Yeah.
know? Lets him stick out there, lets him try and take away, or he might be scouting for stacks that the Sven might be able to be farming up at this point in time.
Alright, you.
Malik might die here, but never mind. Probably going to be going back the other way. Oh, nice dodge.
Oh,
nice try.
he did not dodge out on the AA Ice Blast, getting clipped by the debuff. He does lose his life, and Liga are just doing a fantastic job at just continuing to keep this beatdown going. And this is what I was talking about when I said I really enjoyed the draft. I feel like they've got a lot of synergy between their heroes. Outside
Really
of
gonna
the
fight
support
this?
duo.
I mean, maybe just trying to protect their tower, but Fortnite Man TPing back. Maybe he just wants to quickly shove out this lane as well, knowing that they don't have the Dream Coil, they don't have the Ice Blast. That'll bring him a whole lot closer towards that Blink Dagger. So again, they're approaching the point where they can actually look to try and make some sort of team fight happen. You've got the Urn of Shadows, you've got the Blade Mail finished up. Not really close to the Blink Dagger on the Sven, but I think if he can get up to level 12, he might still just look to join in with the rest of the boys, and they're going to try and win a team fight around that mid tier 1 tower, I think. Maybe look to prioritize the power rune first.
In these next couple of fights, all it takes is you to turn up. I think
he's got the Radiance now as well.
Very problematic, yeah. Armlet Radiance at 16 minutes, like how do you kill him? I honestly don't think you do. Without him killing multiple people.
They've only got a little bit of time to be able to do it. Gets the deny off in the tower, so that's good.
Okay.
Question on my mind is just, where is Fortnite? You know, like, Courier's coming out to him now. He wants to try and get these creeps pushing in onto the tower, but he has to be very careful with his positioning. He's walking up into exactly where Malik is. Might be okay. They actually cancelled the TP on Kunkka, I believe. No, he actually still showed up, but he's going to be able to get away in time.
He definitely hung around.
They did, but they see Rinsik farming here. Do they choose to go for it? He's very close to that Blink Dagger himself, just about 120 gold.
Okay, Ike in the middle lane, seeing if they can try and get this fight going, but it is a lot of this stun duration that just goes in, and there is so much damage for them to deal with. And this Ancient Apparition hero seems like it is just a pretty good hero in combination with Dirge. Just he hits the Decay, Ancient Apparition hits the Bone Chill or the Death Rhyme. And you just have no HP. Your HP is just gone, and then you get Ice Blasted, and then you take one bit of damage from a spell, and you're dead.
It's just the dream coil for mine, right? Like, at this point of the game, you don't have BKB, so you can't run out of it or do anything to be able to contest against it. So it means Boat's always going to hit, AA Blast is always going to hit, you have the potential of being dead shot and snapping the coil, the calling is always going to hit, so what other options do you really have? And plus, on top of all of this, you got the Ice Vortex just buffing up the magic damage that everyone's taking. So I'm a little surprised that they went for a fight at that point in time, because you need Rinsik there. He needs to be the one, not necessarily starting the fights, but just being there to be able to jump on anyone that's even slightly out of position. Like, you would take Amarallis at this point. No, that's the one.
And that is a lot that Rinsik just got. That's a lot of cash money. How much did he get out of that? Almost 1,000 gold.
Yep.
Alright, Rinsik feeling good with that opening kill with the gold strength.
That was Puck's Blink Dagger reveal as well, so wasn't able to get anything off the back of that. Has an Arcane Rune as well, which should still persist after the after he comes back from death. So still got the potential to be able to make another play, but just gives them a tiny bit of breathing room to be able to say, all right, well, we've gotten through one fight, we've slowed them down a little bit, closing in the net worth gap a little bit, and I think the most important thing moving forward is just take out this bottom tier 1 tower, and that is something that Erase is not wanting to allow them to do. I'm not sure if he can get a kill on his own, but he's going to attempt it maybe with AI Ice Blast, but doesn't look like he sent it off just yet.
Kind of playing around a little bit with his food, seeing if you can maybe potentially bait them to stay a little bit longer here as a race. But this Puck is going to be fairly problematic to deal with.
Again, just pretty easy for him to just shove in these lanes. A couple of decays, wave is gone. He's just gone full Aura bot like we were expecting.
Oh, they're in trouble. Look at this backstab that's coming in from Liga. It is just X-Mark, Torrent, Repel, everything. He at least gets a Remnant away, but can Mirage stay away? That's the real question. So he does. And Ike will bite the dust, but it's 6k. 20 minutes into the game. There is a long road ahead here.
He's not really the one that you're concerned about dying, though. Like, he got the Repel off. That was the big difference, that fight. It means your Ember Spirit doesn't die. It means he doesn't give up the ton of unreliable gold that he's got. means that he's able to get closer and closer to, looks like a Radiance that he's going for, just to have a little bit more of that damage going back the other way. Don't hate it. Wouldn't hate a BKB either, though, so that you're not completely relying on the Omni Knight to be able to do that for you.
Let's see if they can take down Malik here. So he is very big and very scary. So they are able to deal with the Dirge. The AA Ice Blast is going to completely what? No, okay. It's going to hit on the pond line.
Should be fine. Again, it's just delay, delay, delay. That's all that they're trying to do. Although, might be able to get a quick kill here onto the Muerto, and nicely done by Rinsik once again.
Alright,
that
so
they've got
Rinsik's
vision,
been
but
able to,
it's just daytime.
been able to get himself at least 2 kills now, and
Is under attack.
seems like a little bit deja vu from game number 1. You know, Rinsik's just kind of sitting back, just farming around, just hitting creeps, killing heroes. Fortnite Man now has his blink in his Yules, going to go towards that PKB. And especially for somebody like Mirage as well, it's going to take him a little bit of time to get back into this game. I do definitely agree with you. I probably would have liked a little bit more of that HP, especially as we're seeing now. I guess it's not getting too scary because Erase is not going that full kind of damage control build. He's going to go to the Lincolns first. So I guess he can't get blink stunned. I mean, that's the only real thing that needs to be scared of. He can get Yules. He can get speared, though.
Yep.
Well, that comes up, so...
Chain gang as well. Just phase shifted, but still. Hold on, who'll be caught out here on the puck? Just a Willow, not the worst. And they're going to take that time to be able to clear out this bottom tier 1 tower. TPs are coming in, though. Able to get away. Oh,
TP
Tumblr's
from
toy even.
Malik. What are you doing? Oh,
Oh, the Ukes. Oh,
I think he overdue.
oh, nice try. Oh, never mind.
Okay.
He's out.
Being able to utilize
Easy
the
game.
repel. So they're going to try and make a fight towards the top side here. They want to try and get you. He's going to be very, very difficult to get, though. Conker, before he gets his boat off, it's going to be very, very scary. Now with the armor, gets out on as well. Wants to try and TP away, but it's the Yule Scepter up into the air. They're going to keep the Conker here, and they're going to get the kill as well. Fortnite Man, unfortunately, is probably going to bite the dust. Yes, he will. And the final item on the menu is Respect. And again, it's a 5-kill
Do they
streak.
Tormentor? They can Tormentor off the back of this. They've still got about a quarter of the duration of the God Strength left. Looks like they want to try and go for another kill, but I don't know. Rinsik is probably saying, bro, I don't have my amped up damage anymore.
Doesn't have amp damage, doesn't have his BKB either. So they're going to lose Ike and lose the Tormentor as well here. Ono is going to throw some vision on the Tormentor at least to see if they will want to fight that a little bit later on.
Mirage of Smoke pops.
Mirage has his
got the
own
Radiance.
Radiance up now as well. So a little bit more of that extra burn damage. Okay, so with the BKB, well, I'd imagine it's what? BKB Ags for Mirage potentially here?
Yeah, seems good to me.
Just trying to see what the timeline is here for Liga. Do you start to feel the pressure if you're Liga with some of the heroes that you have? You know, you've got Malik here on the Undying. Does he lose his usefulness as this game goes on? Amplified damage rune though comes in from the raise. Wants to see if they can take down Fortnite.
Oh,
Look at the Yules up in the air. That's a perfect Brambles there. Does not hit the terrorize though. So Conlo's going to see if they can try and get this fight going. Fortnite Man is able to pin Malik there.
He's
onto
alive.
the wall as well. They keep them all alive thanks to Ike. They want to try and come in now. They're going to get onto the backside. Rinsik
Oh, they
wants
found
to
the
see
puck.
if you can find out the puck, and they do. They get the 2-tap, and that's a see you later onto the puck. It's a raise.
Malik
who is
as
erased
well.
from this game. And Malik getting kited out. There's a lot of damage that Ponlo can do here. They have to be careful of the zombies, though. Not all too much HP on everybody left remaining, so they're just going to leave it be. God's Strength now is starting to wear thin. They want to go forward. Rinsik comes in. He's able to catch out there onto the Muerta. Has to pop his BKB to stay alive. And they will just eventually get kited out. They have to just fall back here. They can't overextend too much. The puck will be up in another 20 seconds. And no BKB and no God Strength from their Sven.
Radiant's top tower.
Yeah,
He's
they need a
just
backup
walked
at
in
this
and
point.
gone towards the Tormentor.
Ponlo. Very ballsy position to be in. We're back off in time.
That
I want to see. I mean, we're not getting a moment's peace, but I really want to see that that previous
Rentic?
gank attempt. Should be okay.
He's around in the area. It looks like they want to try and fight. I don't know if this is a good place for you to try and fight. Rentic goes in. Now they get the chain coming forward as well. Need to try and see if they can get this first kill. They do. Rentic, though, BKB in God strength. Again, there's not that many utility left for this side of
They'll get respect, though.
Kalmychatas. Do get respect, and they look for another. So the AA as well as the Mortar go down. God strength is back up once
Got
again.
another.
See if they can kite around to conquer. Fortnite Man's getting oh so low. Misses out on the God's Rebuke, but they eventually get the damage and they kill another. Liga, they're starting to crumble here, Matt. They're starting to fall apart. They haven't been able to complete what they started. And it is just Fight City. And it feels like it's fights all on Kalmychata's terms. It feels like every single time that they are starting a fight, it is their fight to start.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, it's right next to Tier 2 towers. It's right where they've got all of this vision. And now they're going to get that Tormentor as well. Pondo moving away just in time to be able to avoid death from the reflection coming through there. It's going to be Ike's. Just not bad, honestly, for an Omni Knight support to be able to get that double purification coming through. Man, Fortnite Man, he is 0-7-6, but he's doing a great job of just, again, dangling his life out there, making them want to have to go for him, and he's just surviving that little bit of extra time that, you know, the rest of the team needs to be able to get there. You've got Blink Dagger now on the Sven. He's level 20 as well. He's eclipsed them in net worth, and he still hasn't died a single time.
Yep. Morales as well in that that previous fight that I saw from the replay. Actually died to a neutral creep.
I still want to see that previous gank attempt on Fortnite Man up the very top, because he used his Yule Scepter to snap the Dream Coil. He got the distance perfect, that when he Yulesed it up, it actually broke the Dream Coil without him taking any damage. So if that doesn't work, I feel like it's a big play, but it seems very minor. But I think the next sequence of like 7 kills going Kalmychata's way don't happen if he doesn't survive that.
So it's exactly what you're saying, right? It's just it's all about the dangling, and then the rest of his team can do the tangling. So they can continue to keep this game alive. And there was, what was it? Almost 10k about 8 minutes ago, and now they're ahead by a couple thousand gold. Yeah, so yeah, the difference.
And you've got a BKB on the Ember, and you've
pretty
got
close to 10k.
Level 18 on the Ember as well. And they want Roshan because they've got basically everything up. Daedalus, by the way, on Rinsic.
Yeah, Daedalus BKB at the ready as well here for Mirage, and it looks like Liga are tails between their legs. Okay, that's a little bit of an awkward one there by Fortnite Man, but he at least gets the AA ult out of the way. They do take one down. I want to see if they can try and deal with this tombstone, though. It's fine, healthy. Another couple of auto attacks, see if they can get through this. Fortnite Man's getting oh so low. They get everybody up and healthy thanks to Ike. Now we are looking to try and take down this Mars. Fortnite Man is the one that goes down, but the Undying, he is getting clapped by this Sven, who has been, again, a very hard hero to deal with. He will just tip you away. Morales wanted to try and get that kill there. The BKB just wore off, and he will be able to get the kill. Will Mirage? Does he have a way of getting out of here, though? He is silenced up, and without that BKB and no mana left, he will have no way of getting out of here. He almost took you with him.
That blade mail at the very last second, just waiting for the Radiance to tick that little bit further. I think he resigned himself to his death, but maybe thinking that he could take the Conquer with him. Not going to be the case, though, and yeah, it wasn't the perfect initiation from Fortnite Man, to be fair. Wasn't able to land that stun, meant that you were able to get that Ice Blast off, but still, I like the confidence that they're showing to be able to just continuously go for these kills.
Yeah, I think the thing is, for me, as you said, just not having that that clean initiation just meant that Fortnite Man, you can see here, obviously having the entirety of this Ice Blast on him, gets him nice and low. Just doesn't really have that good way of resetting it. If that's like a nice quick clean kill, they probably don't re-engage if you're Liga. correct? Like, you know, you're in a fight like that where your AA just gets instantly tapped and you just go, okay, like, we're not going to fight this anymore. We don't have Ice Blast. But the fact that it was a little bit of a longer engagement just meant that this fight was going a little bit further. As you can see here from Mirage, he definitely had opportunities to be able to pull out of that fight at certain points, but wanting to commit to see if he could take someone with him. So
yeah, I think his Charters still had like 20 seconds on cooldown or something like that, so he would have had to remnant away and all that, and I just don't know if he had the mana to be able to do it. It's almost level 20 though, which, you know, you consider maybe Searing Chain's damage is what he wants to go for, considering he has got the Chain Gang. I know Sleight of Fist hero damage is generally pretty good, but I think he's just concerned about living in these team fights for as long as possible, considering Blade Mail, Radiance, even just the Aghanim Shard that he's been able to purchase up, just that general AoE that he's got.
See what he does want to go for. Let's see, go through damage. So makes a lot of sense here. So Liga have been able to wrangle back this lead. Looking at some of the items that are coming up for them, the Puck has the Lincolns fully completed as well as the Parasma. So definitely hitting these absurd levels of damage here for a race. He's actually quite hard to take down as well. 2100 HP.
Fortnite Man has to be careful here.
Blink away. Does have Yules and BKB, but looks like they found a juicier target instead. They've been able to find out the Sven here. Torrent goes up in the air. Rinsick able to at least get the repel, so it doesn't have to pop his BKB for that, but all these fights are going down. They found out the Parker race.
The shield route to the left as well. Yep. Making sure he can grab it.
Fight it here, so it looks like they have been able to win that race. Was the Ember Spirit.
What now, though? You did use the Dream Coil, so it feels like a pretty alright fight to want to engage onto if you're Kalmychata, but is it something where they just need another item? Doesn't seem like they're too close to being able to pick up anything in the not too distant future. Honestly, didn't seem like the worst Roshan timing. You know, they were kind of around it. They've got some decent vision. You didn't have Dream Coil available, but clearly thinking that they just need some extra little bit of oomph to be able to try and make something happen. Because they're really playing on the knife's edge here.
Does feel like they were trying to pull a few strings, maybe trying to make that rotation from Liga towards the top side of the map so they can walk into Roche, because that looks like that's what they've done. They've hit the God Strength and they're trying to take down Roche. Looks like there's no response here from Liga. They were able to at least deal with a bit of their lanes. And they are just starting
ulting into it.
They will eventually get clipped by it, but at this point, Aegis is already gone.
Doesn't have the shard either on respect. I think that's the big difference, you know, the reason that people are always wanting to go for the early tormentors, particularly if you've got the AA, means he needs to queue it up for himself and buy it. I'm not sure if Blink Dagger is the best overall option for him, but maybe just wanting to make sure that whichever target they initiate onto, you're not going to get Guardian Angeled, repelled, purification, whatever it might be. They found you.
You?
Doesn't look like they
Ballsy not to
up.
pop the BKB there. Ponlo was getting close.
Yeah, he doesn't have the Blink Dagger quite yet on Ponlo.
It looks like they're going to try and commit towards this bottom side. Maybe trying to catch out
Radiant are scanning.
Rinsick.
It's like in Fortnite Man's positioning. He's just waiting to see who makes a move and kind of pressuring in that top tower as well. He's trying to bait someone to TP back so that they can get an outnumber going through, but it doesn't look like Liga are taking the bait at this stage. Just using you to just right-click into that tower.
And it seems like Kalmychata are more than happy to play this a little slow. They understand that a lot of these team fights can go one way or another. All it takes is a nice initiation, one team.
Hold on.
That is a shield rune that is on Mirage here. Ike is around the corner, so they will drop the repel. Pops the BKB as well, though, so maybe he's put Ike in a bit of an awkward situation. He has Mirage. They want to see if they can get this this fight going. Arena of Blood goes in towards the back line here from Fortnite Man. This is a little awkward now for the Kalmychatas.
Should be okay though. Again, you've used Pierce the Veil, you've used Tombstone, you've used Flesh Golem, you've used Dream Coil. So yeah, they've used a few things themselves, but still kind of feel like you can go back in. The main thing that you would be holding that BKB for would be Dream Coil at this stage. My eyes are on
Mirage.
Doesn't seem like Rinsick wants to fight just yet. He wants to be able to finish up that Swift Blink first. Got 2.5 minutes left on the edges.
Interesting that Mirage didn't get X marked there. Not sure why you didn't X mark him, but that's okay.
That's why he gets the
Should
tip.
know that the BKB is on cooldown.
You know what, sometimes we saw all the Kazakhstani brothers at the start of the game tipping each other, and maybe it was just a little bit of good vibes coming through there.
Yeah. Try to hit him with the... I was going to say something that would have sounded extremely etch. Tried to hit him with the 360 no scope, the 3-pointer, the swish. Just hit him with the torrent boat combination without the X mark.
He's got enough for Ags, by the way, on Mirage, and he's got a freaking arcane range. Jesus.
Dire's bottom tower
Yeah,
is
that's
under
a lot of remnants that are going to be going out, especially with the chain gang as well. It's going to be a lot of damage that's going to come out from this Ember Spirit. I think the question is now, if you're the side of Liga, is there any kind of item that you're waiting for on the horizon? Like EU is huge, like this Conquer's massive. Is there anything that you're kind of
EU
like
is
looking
huge.
at? Is there anything that you're looking at in the future to try and kind of tip the scales in your favor? Is it really just the AA shard that you're potentially waiting on?
Probably not, to be honest. Like, it feels like they just want to wait out this Aegis and then wait for Kalmychata to make a mistake. You know, wait for them to overextend a little bit. But how much time are they going to have with this? They've got a minute left on the Aegis. They've got Ember's Courier spawning in 15 seconds, sorry. But they're not going to need to use it because he's just ran all the way back to base. Alright, this is it. You got to make a play right now. You got 48 seconds to do it. Quickly shove out the wave.
Dire are scanning.
Well, they have the the Ember.
I'm a little worried with how split up they are at this point in time, though, on Liga. Like, yes, you don't want to take a full-on team fight, but also don't want to be caught off.
They have a Hex. Fortnite Man, he's been able to find out one. The AA goes absolutely bye-byes. There is no way for this AA to get their way back in here. They do have that AA Ice Blast now after a little buyback. Have to be very, very careful, though, if you're you. You're going to come forward here for Mirage, getting very, very low. AA, once again, just trying to throw out this Ice Blast, see if he can clip out onto the Emissary. It doesn't get it done. Rinsick is again trying to walk away as well. Malik's getting very, very low when it comes to that mana. It is very, very scary for this Undying. Once again, Fortnite Man will walk up into the air, though. He's going to try and get himself away, but he will not be able to make it. The Omni Knight goes down as well to erase in the back line. So it looked like it was a good start for them. They just can't convert this into any big core kills.
Yeah, they got the Hex onto the AA instead of the Puck. It would have been a completely different fight if you're able to take out a race. But of course, he's got the Lincoln Sphere as well, so easier said than done.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
You do at least have the Glyph for this high ground.
Blinks in Yules as well as the Hex. Ways to pop it himself to see if they can get that kill on the Puck. Because I feel like the Puck is the real scary hero here. Yes, Yu does quite a lot of damage, but you can kite him out. You can try and get around him. You can do so much more. The Yules comes up into the air here on Yu, so he will be stuck a little bit here towards the tier 3. So Mirage is able to pull these creeps back. They won't lose the tier 3 tower, and it looks like Rinsick wants to try and go in here. The Puck is TPing away, but they haven't been able to convert it.
Okay.
Ooh, bit zealous there on the God Strength.
I understand.
Someone. They're coming back. It's going to be Malik. They want to try and go back in here. 2 taps the Undying. Thank you very much for you. And Mirage is going to keep going forward here. Does have the Aghanim Scepter. Wants to try and find Amaryllis. Able to find him. So the X marks is not going to work out. But now up onto the high ground goes Rinsick. Does not have anything to play around with here. So he has to pop the BKB to walk away. Especially because the God Strength has gone away. Okay, it looks like they're going to try and see if they can get this fight going, and then Blood will go down. They take down the Muerta, and they will look to try and take down Fortnite Man. He goes dead as well. 85 seconds without his life anymore. Looking to see if Ponlo can walk away from this fight, and he will. There's no way to stop that TP. And again, it's just a lot of these tiny little skirmishes here, Daniel, where it's going one way or another. Nobody's really getting that perfect opportunity to cut down any of these big calls, and especially with Malik having that ceaseless dirge, you get a big pick-off in taking down the Undying, but you can't do anything about it because he instantly respawns.
We've got 4 different Outworld staffs in this game as well. I would have to imagine it's just trying to dodge out, like, for against Liga team, the boat combination plus potentially the AA blast if you're really on point with it. And then from the other side, what is it, like Sven stun onto you, I guess, would be the main thing that you're trying to dodge, or maybe, you know, Cursed Crown, maybe Syringe, yeah, I guess, maybe. It'd be really rough though, the range on that is quite large.
Dire's bottom tower
It is such a close game still. It's actually 76% win probability for Liga team. I'm not sure if I agree with that. Like, it's only a 4K net worth lead. They haven't lost any lanes of racks so far. So it's not like the lanes are going to be passively pushing in. The damage is only going to ramp up further and further. Whereas I'm not sure if I see, outside of this Ags for a race, like, where is the extra damage coming from at this stage of the game? Okay, look at use quick buy. Rapier, that's where it's coming from. It's getting to that stage.
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like for you, he's reached that critical mass of, yeah, I'm super tanky and it takes him a long time to kill me, but I don't kill anyone just yet.
I also feel like... Do you feel like Undying's items have stayed pretty much the same for the past, like, 20 minutes? Because I do. You know, we see a Blink Dagger and a fresh-ish BKB, but that's not really what you come to expect over 20 full minutes, you know?
Yeah, it definitely feels like he is starting to fall behind, especially, you know, in comparison to Fortnite Man, who has very similar net worth, but his net worth effectiveness is a lot more than what it is for the Undying, right? You know, the Blink, Yules, BKB, and Hex, like, that's basically guaranteeing you allowing the Sven to just delete anybody that they catch with the Hex. So.
Hold on. Big smoke coming through here, potentially catching up Fortnite Man.
BKB? He does have a repel around him, so they will be able to at least get this first arena going down. Malik, though, has to be very, very careful. They're going to come in here with Rinsing, seeing how much damage he can do. He's trying to chop through the Undying. He's able to get through him with the Abyssal Blade. Now, with
Sven
the
might be in
buyback
trouble.
back on the Omni Knight, Sven is oh so low. He loses his life. 100 seconds on the Cylon with no Rensik, and this could be all off the back of Mirage doing so much work in the backlines, takes down these supports. So it is just the cores that are left available here, and Ponlo is going to see if he can get himself away from you. Yu still has that BKB, but with the damage that comes in from Arrays, that is enough for them to take down Ponlo. So, Sven, no buyback.
What did he die to? Majority Puck was doing the damage to the Sven, and honestly, Erase is doing a phenomenal job so far.
That was
Doesn't even have that
as well for the Puck.
Yeah, that'll do it. Similar sort of thing with Mirage.
Does have to be careful. And it's a nice little dodge that comes out there from Mirage. Ike is here in the back line as well. They will pop the BKB here from the Conqueror. And Mirage is just going to stand his ground, especially with that repel. He wants to see if he can take down the Conqueror here as well. They have not gotten in
he goes back in.
zones, and he will be able to take down the Conqueror. And unfortunately for Mirage, I think he just overstepped his bounds just a little bit because Ike doesn't have buyback. Ike bought back. There is no repel. You have to be very careful here if you are the Ember Spirit. He wants to try and take down a race who will just go into the OD Astral Spirit realm. Let's see if he can take down a Puck. So Mirage holds. They lose a tier 3. They will have to use his buyback.
He's just out of remnant charges. That's the thing. Like, he would have kept going if he just had anything left to be able to play with. And I mean, he had a fair amount just because of how many kills he was getting. What was it? A triple kill solo, basically, on the back lines, just through existing as this Ember Spirit. I mean, he's got the Veil, has, I believe, now Shiva's completely finished up as well. It's going to be amazing just for providing a lot of vision in a lot of these team fights.
Yeah, just that that extra bit of amplification as well to try and deal with the conquer.
Roche is up, by the way. I feel like you kind of just go for it for Ember, surely.
Yeah.
Force the Ember Spirit, Conquer to buy back. Respect is making his way over there.
$1,500 away. They have found him out. They can find a race. They have not been able to pop his linkers. Right now, they're just going to go in onto the back line, go directly onto the dirt shield. I want to see if they can take him down before he gets down any of these spells. He doesn't get anything done. Rensik's going to go directly on top of the Ancient Apparition and see you later. That is 3 members biting the dust. Extremely quick here for Liga team. And now you 100% walk into the pit. And you will give an Aegis to Mirage. Roche has roared, so they know exactly what's going on here for Liga.
Surely Erase can't do this. Surely not.
He's going to walk in. They get the snap on the first bit of the Dream Call. Erase is still sitting inside of that realm, and the Aegis goes the way of the Ember Spirit. And there will be no stealing today, sir.
Cute little attempt, for sure. Even could potentially punish the puck if he goes for the power rune, but it's top.
There's a shield rune for Mirage, so it gives him a little bit of extra freedom.
I wonder if he's even just going to stick himself out there, you know, shove this lane in really effectively. There's still a tier 1 top, by the way, you know. It's honestly worth just going in and 3-clicking it at this stage on the Ember Spirit just to take away one of their TP points.
So it was a nice little attempt there from Erase.
Oh, Ponder might be in trouble. Dream coils him as well.
Not much that he can really do here for Pondlo. He's kind of just wasting time, I guess.
Got it terrorized, I guess.
Yeah.
But
it's just
you don't TP in on the Muerta if that tower's dead. That's all I'm saying.
Yep, that's true. So now we go back to the wonderful late game Dota conundrum of how many creeps can I hit while the Aegis is up. And I guess
who's going to overextend first, basically.
Yeah. And if I was a betting man, I would say the first person to make a aggressive movement is going to be Fortnite Man.
Oh, for sure.
He's going to be looking for something.
He's going for that victory royale is what he's doing.
It's too early in the morning for you to say that to me with a straight face. I know you straight face that too. All right. Mirage. Looks like he missed the chains combo on respect.
Can we call when he uses the BKB, can he's popped his chug jug?
Oh. No, I'm not saying that. I'm never saying that. There's a fight, so we can talk about this. So the Abyssal Blade, big old Lotus Sword to be able to get that Abyssal Blade going back onto Rensik. So he's used a lot of his BKB. He has to use that refresher. Wants to try and take down the Dirge, but he's going to have to TP away. The Nightfall will be able to get himself away, but it's the X marks the spot, and he gets himself back into the Shadow Realm, but it doesn't matter. So he's going to lose his life here. They've been able to keep Rensik still alive. He wants to try and get some more of this HP back in, and he stays alive. You goes down. They're looking to see if they can try and get this kill here with a race, and they do. They turn it back around with Malik trying to go in and take down Mirage as well, who's just burning through this Undying, but he gets so much of his HP back. They're just going to leave him here, and Malik is going to turn and fight against Mirage. He wins the fight. Fortnite, man, you got to help your buddy out. Respect is able to take down Ponlo as well, and it is a very terrible fight if you are looking on the side of either of these two teams, and the Ember Spirit is losing their life again. It's a race who is unstoppable in these fights, and it is just the determining factor for every single one of these fights has been a race. And I think if this game's going to go any longer here, Danog, you have to start looking towards this puck. You have to kill him.
But how do you do it? You know, like, I feel like that's part of the reason why you've even gone the Yules for Fortnite, man. Like, yes, it saved him a few times, and it does allow you to, in theory, set up for kills onto a race, but he's got that freaking Lincolns. He's got an Outworld staff as well to be able to play around with, so unless you're literally queuing things up perfectly with a Yule Scepter into the Scythe of Vice, you ain't killing this puck.
And I think that line is going to mean that Liga, they're going to try their best here. So here's the Arena of Blood from Fortnite, man, to
for the vision
catch out on the park.
He just wanted to get rid of the vision so that the Rax wasn't hittable. As simple as that. He doesn't even have a refresher. Like, he's got one queued up, but I thought that it was valuable to have that, especially with Sven respawning in 5 seconds, maybe just expecting that they wouldn't stick around while you've got Rinsick coming up. Just 2 deaths again for the man on the Sven.
2 impactful deaths, so that's what happens with these calls in these late game scenarios, is every single one of these deaths can be oh so impactful.
I do wonder, like, I think Mirage has got the right idea with his itemization, going for a Wind Waker next, as opposed to, and I kind of want to see Fortnite Man do a similar sort of thing. There have been a few times where he's just lost like 75% of his health because he's had to sit inside of this Dream Coil with, of course, the piercing debuff immunity talent to it. Whereas if you can just snap it mid-air, then feels like he can actually look to rejoin a team fight a whole lot more easily. And he's already got the Yules.
You don't have the sand.
Has fallen.
Let's see what these next round of items are going to bring us, Daniel, because we're at 50 minutes. We're ever approaching the event horizon that is tier 5 items. Whether or not they're needed is a completely different question.
Another smoke out. Who are they going to be able to catch? I mean, Ponlo's kind of deep on his own. If the smoke breaks, I'm not really sure what the expected outcome is. They smoke themselves. He doesn't have blink for himself.
No. He goes into the Shadow Realm, so he's buying a bit of time here, but that's all that it really is. He at least has buyback. They're going to see if they can get this fight going. Rinsick is sitting on the sideline here. He wants to go in with that BKB as well as the God Strength. Walking forward, gets nullified though. Look at how much damage that's going forward here. He's just standing and fighting. He wants to see if he can get this game done, but unfortunately for him, that looks like it is done.
Where are his
not
boys?
the way that he had wanted. Everybody else is sitting in the backlines, and that's just not the fight that you wanted to have here. And Ike will be losing their life as well, and this looks like it is a blunder at the 52-minute mark.
I'm not sure what that was. You know, that was just a couple of people doing their own thing completely away from the rest of the team. And, well, you've got a big wave of creeps inside the base. Nothing really to stop them from continuously pushing forward. Ember Spirit doesn't have BKB, and, well, luckily for him, he has that Wind Waker. What now?
Try and go forward here onto the park. How much damage they have here? They've been able to keep him at least on towards the wall for a long time. Hexed up as well, but just need that extra bit of damage, and Ponlo loses his life as well. And Janog, I think this potentially could be a game that we go to the 3rd.
I think so as well. It's going to be pretty fitting as well. It has felt a lot more even than we saw in the previous series, even though that was a 3-gamer as well. It felt like both teams could go either way with the outcome of this one. Oh, just misses on the spear there.
From Fortnite Man. So
they're just trying to delay.
Hold for 30 seconds. They will have Rinsick back. They do have a glyph as well, so they can buy an extra couple of seconds. Fortnite Man's going to try his best. Walk forward, seeing how much damage he can do. Not really able to do much here as well, so they're just going to keep cleaving through these tier 4 towers. The race is going to keep going forward. Fortnite Man
needs to go in.
Best. They haven't been able to do all too much, so they're just going to go in towards the backline here. They've taken out the Ancient Apparition, looking towards the Ancient here. It's getting oh so low. Race is just focusing on towards the Ancient, seeing how much they can do, and it is not going to be enough for Rinsick.
Heads as they start running out on the map. But the thing is, you're going up against a lot of burst in the form of Kunkka, Lina, AA Blast, hell, even the Bedlam coming through from the Dark Willow. So how well are they going to be actually able to be that dangle without risking their life is essentially what I'm saying here. And the other thing that we've seen as well is that from Rinsick, he's played the Sven twice, and he's only died 3, maybe 4 times across 2 games, and all of those times were in the previous game. I feel like he's going to need to play a little bit more selflessly, I guess is the right way to put it. You know, really put himself out there in danger a whole lot more, because this isn't going to be the sort of game where you can just 2-hit people, you know? Like, he needs to actually put himself in harm's way a whole lot more, yeah.
Yeah. Kind of soak
SF
up a
do
lot
the
more of
damage.
the... Yeah. Yeah, soak up a lot more of the spell cast and not be the main character. Like, it definitely feels like this is much more... I don't want to say, like, a supporting cast role. But obviously, Slark can take over a game and do kind of whatever he needs, but it feels like he's going to be in the front lines, being a bit more of a... Or, I mean, more so the back lines, potentially, and just being a nuisance and soaking up a lot more of that attention. And Mirage is kind of going to be the guy who's going to be like, okay, time for me to blink in and get a triple kill.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely. I agree. All 3 cores are Grandmaster, so can't really ask for too much more. Ike's done his boys a nice little solid there.
I feel like a lot of these players have just played so much Dota that it's kind of impossible not to have all these Grandmaster heroes when you have, you know, in Fortnite Man's case, 20,000 matches of Dota.
How do you quickly see how many matches do you have? Just on your profile, right?
I just checked him on Dota Buff. I think it was more so closer to like 18,000, but you know, 20,000 sounds way cooler than 18,000.
Wow, you lied to me.
I didn't lie, I stretched the truth.
I see.
I also could have said he had 35,000 matches. And
You could have, and I would have believed you.
Except for that one guy in Twitch chat that I definitely know would have looked up his Dota buff and be like, actually he has 17,655 matches.
I cracked the 10k mark recently.
I think... I don't know how many I have. I think I'm just over 8.5k.
So what's your excuse then?
I've always been trash. That's my excuse.
There we go. That's what I wanted to hear.
I couldn't imagine what I would be like after a hiatus of playing World of Warcraft for 6 months.
You know the quote that people say where it's like, anyone can become an expert at something, just give 10,000 hours to it? I'm like, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? How has this happened?
Am I broken?
I mean, these people have clearly never played Dota in their life.
Yeah.
That's the other thing, like, I always took pride on being like, you know what? I'm at least half the MMR of the best players in the world. And now because of these freaking double down tokens, I'm like right on the edge. You know, these 16k players, I'm like, come on, man.
MMR's inflated. It should be a number between 1 and 10.
True.
Change my mind.
What number would you be?
Or 1. Very clearly.
You're better than 1. Come on, give yourself some credit.
All right, I'd be... I mean, in the grand scale, probably like a 4 or 5.
I'll give you a 4. Let's not get carried away.
The Matt classic, the dangle the little compliment fruit and snatch it away. Right, nice second. That's how you know it's getting very late here, ladies and gentlemen. The delirium is starting to set in for a little
Oh, for sure. Like it's been set in.
Don't worry, guys. We'll be back to our regular programming for tomorrow. Okay, we'll be back on normal hours.
With plenty of normal sleep hours.
Definitely no sleep, but normal hours. All right, Fortnite man, and respect. Trying to have a little fight here. Not much has happened. Middle lane's going relatively even, as we expected a lot between Mirage and Erase. They've been relatively even throughout the entirety of this. Triple Race does have the schmango.
You're right. We are delirious. Oh, DP. Uh-oh.
He is definitely in trouble here. He does have a 1 in the Fairy Fire. Mirage is going to be... Oh, 6 HP. He's going to try and get the triple raise. And the auto
nice
attack,
try.
it's not going to be enough. That would have been an epic turnaround. But unfortunately for Mr. Mirage, didn't have the HP Ponlo.
Would have been a pro gamer
Oh,
moment.
nice little salve cancel there from Ponlo. Looking to try and get the Chaos Bolt as well. Another auto attack. Gets it. So that's a decent amount of experience going Ponlo's way. Ike.
Oh, lands it.
Reality Rift. How much longer until he has another Chaos Bolt? They're going to see if they can get these auto attacks going up into the hill. Ike gets the kill. And now the Shadow Fiend gets a return as a race dies.
Yeah, very nice. Should be able to just spam out this wave, nuke down the wave, make sure the creeps are going. Oh, never mind. AA yoinks away the water in. It's always a bit of a balancing act as to, do you want to shove the wave into the tower, or do you want to just keep it in a relatively safe space? But kind of gets the worst of both worlds, where like he delays it long enough so that the leader can get back and still get all the experience, and he's not even able to like go back to the jungle and pick up a little bit of farm for himself.
I think he got 1 deny, so that's probably not the worst. But I do agree with you. It's either, you know, you don't push hard enough, and you get that awkward scenario where she gets all of the creeps, or you push too hard and your wave's just nowhere near anyway, but you can contest it. You've screwed yourself anyway, so.
Yep. Still though,
Why mid
good
laners
kill.
are better than us.
Good kill to be getting this early on.
It was a nice trade, the Ponlo TP, to be able to come in and get that extra kill, and then Ike be able to come across and get that kill onto a race as well. But it seems like right now, both teams are more than happy to just try and sit back and have a little bit of a farm fest again. They've been very, very, I would say, not very, very passive, but relatively passive for the first couple of minutes over these last couple of games. Ike. Just trying to protect this ward here up on the high ground is a race. Raz does just put down this sentry wall. We're going to have a little fight in the river. But Respect as well as Amorales are here to try and take down the Death Prophet.
Regen rune.
Okay, alright, see ya.
Just hit up onto level 6. So getting a little lucky there. Regen rune. Gonna serve him quite well. A little surprised he didn't start channeling the Spirit Siphon, honestly. He could have easily got it onto the Willow before going into the Shadow Realm, but wasn't going to be the case. How are the side lanes going? Honestly, it's pretty even across the board, which is a very different story from what Kalmychata had to deal with in the first, 20-ish, let's say 15 minutes of that game. They were well behind in every single one of those lanes, but this time around they're doing okay.
Malik takes down Renzi in the bottom lane.
Didn't even need
Like it
his
was just a,
boat to be able to do it.
Yeah, it looks like it was just a couple of Tidebringers. Just got him really low. And
Willow
then a
was there as
combination
well, I
of
think.
of the Bramble Maze. Also, I don't think we really talked about it, but it is going to be a carrier Baden. That's a nice little transition here. So it kind of does lead me to believe that the Slark is a little bit of a better pick against the carrier Baden than it potentially could have been. I feel like it's pretty good against a lot of the cores.
Mm-hmm.
Perfectly honest.
KA is in a little bit of danger. Never mind. No.
Okay, yeah.
Zuck, though, will probably keep him alive.
Does take a lot of damage there. Rinsik will
See you,
try
Lena.
and see if he can get the response.
40
onto
blocks.
Respect. Oh my god, that is a team combination there from Liga to be able
And he
to
just
keep him
TP'd
alive.
back. He just TP'd back as well, so the comms perhaps lacking. It's one of the downsides of having this SF, right? Like, if you're going to go back and take a bunch of these stacks for yourself, it means that you're not really communicating what's going on in that mid lane all that much. And allows Lena to be able to make that rotation. It was not even a haste rune or an invis or anything like that. It was a regen that she picked up previously, and now she's going to get another power rune bottom. This time a shield rune, so much more capable of being left solo and continue to scale off the back of all of these nice stacks that have been built up by the Dark Willow.
Yeah, and this is kind of what happens when you have these kind of two side lanes that are both pretty happy with doing whatever, you know, in the 1v1s. Like, Malik is more than happy being in a 1v1. Abaddon and Mars in a 1v1, like, that's snooze central right there. So I can understand why both the supports just decided to dip on that lane. And this is just what happens. You start building stacks for a lot of these other cores, and both of these two teams have, I don't want to say greedy cores, but they have cores that really want a lot of farm, and Pon Low, unfortunately, gets zapped into oblivion.
Oh, this Lena hero.
Yeah.
It's just never loses a lane, basically, which is nuts to still be saying at this day and age, but it's true, you know, and we're seeing a lot more of it being played in that position 1 role as well. Obviously not today so far, but still just something so mindful that you need to be worried about. I've seen, I think it's when Satanic plays it, he just puts the 1 point in the Dragon Slave. It's literally just a Fiery Soul activator, and then, you know, beyond that, it's basically stats, maxing out the other 3 abilities.
See the fight that's going on here for Ike. He's trying to deal with a lot of these stacks, but again, Liga is just off to such a red hot start here. This is kind of what happens out of all 3 of these games. It's been a super fast start coming up from the side of Liga, and then we get towards the mid game and have some nice little team fights from Kalmychata Kalmychata. And then they were able to bring the game back that way.
I hear an arena. Nothing's going to be happening though.
It was the ultimate, what's it called? Borrowed time.
True.
Yeah, so
Even just having the polywalk charm there inside the river means that Lina moves away a little bit more rapidly. Hold up, top side.
Fortnite Man
like
is in trouble. Makes it away. So he didn't get another death added to his name here, did Mr. Fortnite Man, but more than likely he's going to have to be very, very careful. Big Blade now comes out towards the bottom side and Rensick just gets deleted. 0 and 3 right now on the slot. For a guy who died 3 times collective over 2 matches, 0-3 start is not easy to see for your slot.
Definitely not, especially considering, again, last pick. So, you know, you knew exactly what you were picking this into. Maybe they thought it would be an Abaddon in the position 3 role, considering Kunkka did just do a very good job in the POS 1 in game 2. And you just feel a lot more confident in trying to brawl against that. But that'd be a pretty amateur mistake if that was the case, you know? And it really doesn't feel like he can do anything across the map until he picks up this Diffusal Blade. That needs to be his biggest priority. But he's just walking up kind of solo into the game. He might die.
Yeah, Rensick, he's going to get pulled back here into the boat. Malik does mistime it. So, I mean, ultimate for ultimate, I guess. Get some stacks out of it, but not really much else.
It's going to need something else. Like, as soon as this is up, do we have any big timings coming soon? I think Yasha is coming through for the SF now. They really need to do a better job of securing these power runes for themselves. It's top. Mono's going to grab it, and they're going to walk off into...
Fight that's happening in the river, though. Mirage is getting oh so low. He needs to try and get himself away from all of this damage, but it is just a race who is just sitting up on the high ground. So now the Hastings from Conlo wants to see if they can get the fight going, but Lina just stares up onto the high ground. A race doesn't get the third one. It's Ike with the triple kill here for the Death Prophet. So level 8 at 12 minutes in for a POS 5 with 2,000 gold.
You take those?
2,000 gold.
I mean, he got the 3 kills, including that mega kill streak that Erase had at the time, so that's understandable.
Nice so much gold that he got.
So what does he get at this point, is what I want to know. Like, he just goes...
A full glimmer, that's what he thinks.
Sure. Take those.
Glimmer cape. So
Diffusal Blade
gives them a little
close
start.
to being picked up. Yeah, it does. Makes it much more capable of being able to sit back and fight. The thing is, do you want to even try and go for a fight? He's still got 80 seconds on that Exorcism being on cooldown. He's going into a Solar Crest next. I like it. It's mostly going to be used on the Slug, considering it is, again, most likely going to be a Magic SF that's being played.
Oh, Fortnite Man getting soloed by Amorales. That was... It's always exciting watching a Dark Willow solo work all, but then you realize, you're like, oh, this is just Dark Willow's base kit, that she can just do this.
Yep.
And then you get
It's not
depressed.
Right. It's not right, and it's not okay.
No.
So...
I don't think it should be happening. Support players should do 0 damage. All they should do is heal and ward. Change my mind. Alright. Fight's gonna happen. They use that Glimmer Cape there from Ike. See if they can walk towards the middle lane here, but Erase is more than fast enough to get away from that. So they're going to use a nice little Cloak Torrent combination to see if they can take down Pawn Low. A few more auto attacks. Oh, they stopped attacking. Oh, it doesn't matter because they got the Tidebringer, baby. Now it teams another 5-14 here, man. That is not a good start.
Not a good start, for sure. I want to see them making the most out of this Diffusal Blade, though. Like, they must just be waiting for the Exorcism, but it's up. It's off cooldown. I don't think you can afford to give up this Tier 1 tower for free at this stage. Only 20 or so seconds until it turns into nighttime as well, so you'd have to say, if they're not hitting the go switch at that stage, something's up. You know, something's got to give in that sort of scenario. Especially considering he's also got the Sister Shroud on the the Slug. I know that that's not exactly going to be amazing against, like, Lina, for example, considering the majority of her damage is coming from right clicks, but still doesn't feel great. And the biggest issue for mine is that Yu has been basically uncontested, so he's going to have that Radiance by the 16th game.
A big positive for Mind. Oh, Rinsick has been ice blasted, so he won't die to the fracture at least, but getting close. He wants to see if he can try and take down the Ancient Apparition. They will get the dust coming out here. Rinsick wants to see if he can take down Respect. He does not have the ice blast, so Rinsick will be able to get that perma agi stack. Feels good for the Slark. Do you have a Blink Dagger that's been built up here by Fortnite Man? So he's been able to get a relatively fast Blink Dagger. So this is potentially when things can start to kick off for them.
Just quickly shoving out that lane. Walks past a Observer Ward though on his way towards the bottom side. So you have to imagine, yeah, Lina doesn't want a bar of this. Just have to back off and pick up, not run the risk of dying another time. The fact that Ike is, hold on, both being used on Mirage, that'd be a huge kill.
He's trying to get the Requiem off, but unfortunately for him, he's the one that is feared. And then he's just a Shadow Fiend going down. They found some stacks as well. Malik will chomp through those, and Radiance is completed now for you. And it looks like Liga are just going to hit that 5-man button and just walk together down a few lanes, because at this point, I guess the only thing they really need to be afraid of is Blink and Arena.
Yeah, Blink Arena, and I mean Blink once the SF has it as well. Just that combo, right, that we've seen with Chaos Bolt level 4, the Cloven Chaos facet, and then just a quick Requiem on a couple of people. But it really just depends on people standing next to each other in the middle of these team fights, which I guess could happen with like a Kunkka plus a Dark Willow, considering, you know, Shadow Realm and all that sort of stuff, so you're probably still going to get hit by a Requiem. I don't know, it just doesn't feel... Hold on. Slug. Ooh. Just get away. That time ended up saving him there.
And not enough vision. Mark.
So they really just don't want Lina to blow people up at this point. I know, crazy, right? But just multiple Glimmer Capes being purchased. Of course, Depth Shroud is going to be amazing eventually when you're able to pick it up. I think going for an Orchid as well is Rinsick, who should hopefully be okay.
Going in onto Malik, they've got the triple raise combination. It is a full pipe on the Kunkka though. Gets out with the Essence Ring as well. So much of this HP just gets brought back into him. Respect wants to see if they can try and take the damage down onto Mirage. And it will be a race that finishes off the Shadow Fiend. So it's double kill for the SF, but how much are they going to lose in return? Looks like potentially it's just going to be Ike as well. Running away. The DP is very fast. DP gets cancelled by the Terrorize.
Not meant to be.
Lunar Blade to finish it off.
They can still take this tier 1 tower for free though in the mid lane. A lot of extra attention being given over to there. So not the worst. They get a favorable trade. They believe they did get the top tower as well. Yeah, Fortnite Man was able to clean that one up. He's level 13. Not too bad at all, considering the difference between like mid laners 17 versus 14 for this Lina. Race is having a pretty stellar couple of games.
Yeah, it really does feel like that, game 1, a race still did put on a clinic in that mid lane and just wasn't able to really kind of get a stranglehold of the game, whereas game 2 definitely was all about him, and now it is looking like another one of those games. Full Mjolnir almost into a BKB. Okay, so it looks like Rinsick is able to get another permanent agi stack by taking down Respect, and fortunately for Respect, I think that potentially is going to be where Rinsick is going to be getting most of his permanent agi stacks this game, if I'm a betting man.
I mean, that's what you get for playing AA, to be honest, but, you know, it's got to have some kind of weakness. And, you know, no real escape mechanism is the one. Although he's close to getting a Ghost Scepter, so not too bad there. Dodges basically everything that they've got except for the SF, who I believe has Blink Dagger coming out to him right now, so This would be pretty much perfect for them if you force someone to come in and defend this tower, but doesn't seem like they want a bar of it. They're just trying to push in this mid lane. Using Rinsick to... with the daytime, is that going to cause him some issues?
Well, this is an Orchid now too, so a little bit of a combo breaker, but it is Ike who gets the amplified damage rune, but unfortunately for him, it doesn't have that much survivability.
Even try to use even just one Spirit Siphon on the Conquer to try and... I guess he's got Blade Mail.
Rinsick?
Great AA Blast.
Found out you, but that AA Blast is going to do so much work. You can already see with the Glimmer Cape is able to at least get him away from the bad juju. Oh, Rinsick just lives.
This is a pretty free Roshan off the back of this, right? Like, they use the arena, they use the Shadow Dance, you've pushed them back a fair amount. I'm sure Ike would love to be able to go in right now and try and contest this, but the amount of damage that you're able to output with all the farm that Badden's been able to get, you know, again, we really haven't been mentioning you a lot. He's 0-0-1, that's why. You know, his only kill involvement has been off Radiance Burn, basically. So now that he's actually starting to get into a few of these nice items, it becomes a whole lot more challenging for you to have to contest up into this, because you were getting out damaged without this Abaddon, essentially.
I'm pretty sure Erase just walked up and Laguna bladed him.
Yep.
Thanks for the supercharge, baby.
Yep. You got the Curse of Avernus as well for the tower, so not that Lina really needed any additional attack speed to be able to hit into towers, but it just makes it so much easier.
Totally come through it. You can see there is a few pushes that are going on here.
Okay, at least they're able to get one going back the other way. Even popping the exorcism for it.
They're trying to fight this. Erase is here, sitting in the trees, but we do have Fortnite Man that's waiting in the wings as well. Who is able to get the flank here? What fight do they actually want to have? It looks like they've decided.
None.
Fall away from that one. I thought maybe Fortnite Man might try and come in from a side angle and see if they can get something done, but with the exorcism starting to peter out there for Ike, I understand why they wanted to say no.
Will this be a Tormentor that they give up, though, on the top side? It kind of feels like it. You know, you've already used Exorcism. You've got a level 18 Lina. Why not? Just nuke it down. Give AA free AoE poultry Ice Blast. As, see you later, right?
Just going for 200
Preview for AA. Nope, Morales, but not the worst one. As mid lane, there's another Ice Blast coming in.
Yeah, you can just see where it's heading, and unfortunately for Mr. Fortnite Man, he's going to walk directly into it, and the Radiance Burn will finish him off. And again, it's just this is the problem that they're having. Is yes, the Slark can do a lot of work against the Abaddon, but if you don't have any other ways of dealing with him and hiding him out and killing the rest of his team while he's sitting in that borrowed time, then kind of the point is useless,
And they had plenty of chances to ban out the AA as well to make this not as big of an issue. You know, there's this global presence that you're able to have, this ability to just amp up so much of the damage that Lina is able to do. Really playing super deep here as Pombo, and he's going to pay for it. Kind of what he has to do though, right? Pop the Phantasm just to try and keep these lanes shoved in a little bit. They haven't yet taken that tier 2 tower top, but they could maybe make a play for it sometime soon. Abaddon is very deep. And he's very dead.
Okay.
Like, what was happening there? Ike, probably dead.
It just feels like a lot of people are kind of walking into areas and just running into the floor of the enemy team. Unfortunately for Mr. Ike, that is a problem that he's going to run into quite a lot the rest of this game.
I mean, he's been able to make a lot of good stuff happen, for sure, but it's just like, I think it's outweighed a fair amount by the amount of times where he's just kind of in a bit of an awkward position as just getting solo ulted up top is Fortnite Man, as, Willow's coming as well. Level 2 Bedlam, so this will probably be his death if he ends up getting caught out, and doesn't have TP for the next 30 seconds, but doesn't seem like they realize.
Yeah, I think they were more so just happy that they got the BKB out of Fortnite Man.
Sure.
Just another charge down the gurgler. It was the full shiny 9-second one.
I feel like that's an Australianism that people are like, what the hell did he just say? Down the gurgler?
Oh, down the gurgler.
People just like have no idea what that's about. It's the sound that a drain makes, by the way, when water kind of goes down it.
Look it up, guys. Get cultured.
Exactly. Say Australia has no culture. Think again.
Think again. We've got gurglers.
Mm-hmm. And the bubbler is a water fountain.
Yep.
Really complex terms.
When you think about it, why is it called a bubbler? It doesn't shoot out bubbles.
Tower has fallen.
Yeah. I know.
See? Like, usually a lot of it is very straightforward. Alright, Ike is starting to cut some waves here. Trying to, I was going to say another Australianism, cut some shapes. Cutting shapes is dancing, guys.
Yes. Square dancing?
There's multiple barbecues, Barbies.
Don't get me started on state-based beer names and stuff like that.
We've got some state-based actions right now because this fight is starting to lift off and they almost got the kill there onto a race. But they did not have enough to be able to finish off the Lena.
Where's my slurk? That's what I want to know. It's nighttime. You got the Ags, and he's just a little bit too late to the party. Once again, he's I think he avoided actually the creep wave, so they don't know that he's on the hunt for them. It's nighttime, so he's got that extra little bit of vision compared to what they have, and Morales is the one, and with the Orca they should be able to get a pick off, but it's not the pick off that they were really wanting. They need to take out a race.
AA's here.
Okay. Lena's coming back though.
This fight going. They do have quite a lot of these stacks starting to build up here for Rinstick. See if we can start to get a few more of these auto attacks going, but there's so much damage that he has to try and deal with, and now he is just in such an awkward place. We're going to try and get these body blocks going. So he'll just let Rinstick go for now. He does have to be careful. Another 30 seconds and he will have the Shadow Dance back off cooldown.
Monka.
He's going to try and leap away, run away from everybody here, still stuck inside of that Barracuda regeneration.
Cutting some shapes.
Walk away, cutting some shapes.
He's underneath the Observer Ward, so he briefly got the Barracuda revealed, but he's going to be able to get away. Once again, walking underneath a Watcher, but it's just one of those annoying things is he's going to go back for it, and I'm not sure if that's the best option. He swapped in the Sentry Ward, maybe looking to get a little bit greedy, but again, just gets information on where they are first.
Very quick reactions there from Rinsick, being able to turn to the side and get that leap away. Could have potentially been really bad.
They've still got that outpost on Liga's control, ever since Ike tried to take it previously.
It's cursed for Ike. Says never again.
So...
Oh, Race. He's there waiting in Viz.
Got the Arcane Rune as well.
Right,
So we're able to yoink away the enemy Wisdom Rune, so that's a nice little bonus for Ike. And I think he's resigned himself to the fact that he's getting initiated on, so he's like, you know what? Screw you guys, Blade Mail. You will be taking damage to try and kill me.
These three definitely don't have the damage to kill this Lena.
You think?
Do they? Ponlo, you pulled him off the wall. Ponlo, you pulled him off the arena wall. Ponlo. Yeah. Anyways, Ike's dead.
Just.
You know what? Maybe the minus armor what they did need with the reality rift.
Yeah,
you know?
okay, yeah, it is 7 armor. But is 7 armor better than...
Bonk bonk. Yeah, I understand.
How much are the bombs?
Well, 160, right? Spear damage, 160.
Yeah, probably 160. So like 2 of those, that was 320 damage.
Hello?
Anyways,
Yeah.
that's neither here nor there. Yeah, another fight that's going to keep going.
See you later, Fortnite Man.
Malik's going to come out with the big old boat, and Fortnite Man, unfortunately, is going to cop a laser beam to the face. So, a race will continue his killing spree, unstoppable spree. And will continue to be a very, very scary hero in this game.
I still feel like they've still got that 100-0 potential with this SF. We just haven't seen it yet, you know? Like,
yeah.
Previously, we saw multiple combinations of SF's, CK range stun bouncing onto someone else, and then it was a two-man Requiem. They've got all the tools to be able to do it. It's just a matter of, has he already bought the plate mail first? Okay. Just wanting a little bit of extra survivability for himself, I guess? Not wanting to go into the Veil first? Or not feeling like he's going to feel safe enough to get out on the map? He's got Depth Shroud as well.
doesn't have another leap for 7 seconds.
He's got Depth Shroud. And
He's get capped as well.
Nicely done by Ponlo.
Help a body out. He's having
Again, cutting the wave. Alright, they're being pretty clever, right? They're just dragging them around the map. Delaying things a little bit, trying to get into that next item for themselves. I was about to say trying to wait for nighttime, but you've got another 4 minutes until you're able to get to that stage. Maybe Malik is the target. I mean, he's kind of a little far off onto his own, but they should get a rough idea of where they are, considering they just took back the outpost. Choosing instead of the Blade Mail to go Ghost Scepter. Not really going to serve him all that well against Lina, though, which I feel like that's the main person that's been killing Ike. Because they've been killing everyone, to be honest. There's a pretty free Roshan. Maybe?
They can try.
I mean, yeah, they see the mid lane being pushed out, so they know there's a smoke coming through.
Oh,
This is again one of those. It's one of those things where Rinsick really just needs to be the one to. Oh, SF.
Oh, this is awkward. Really, really awkward now. Ponlo's the one that gets caught out. He gets pulled all the way
So
back.
does Willow.
He's trying to get himself a way out of this. He has actually survived the initial engagement. Now Ike will go in towards the back. He's just copped a Laguna Blade, an Ice Blast, and everything for a pulse 5. You're probably pretty happy. They are low cooldowns. Ponlo is awkward. Well, there was nowhere really for him to go. He had to hope and pray.
I mean, you've still got not all your ultimates, but only 10 seconds left on. Oh, look at that perfect positioning with the Slark, where you can see out, but they can't see in. Any BKBs popped? Ooh.
Oh, you got this
Slark.
one. It was the Raw.
Oh, they found Alina.
This is a massive arena of blood. Seeing how much damage they can do, and with the boots back, they finally get the Alina. But they lose so much for it as well. Now the SF has to try and walk away, but it's the bash that comes in from you. And the Abaddon is just going to keep charging down on this Shadow Fiend. And Malik again with a double kill. Malik is really starting to show his stripes in this game. Really starting to show them in this series, I think. I really feel like Malik has woken up after that game number 1.
I mean, he's the most experienced by far, and for good reason. I'm surprised they didn't go into Roche, to be honest. It's very low.
Oh.
Did they not see it?
I don't know.
Maybe just really wanted to give it to Lina, I guess? Eventually it's getting pinged out, but I feel like Kalmychata know how low it is, and you're going to have Slark up a good 30 seconds before Lina is, so do they make another go at this? I would.
Crack. Got Arena coming up in about 30 seconds here, so they're going to see if they can try and take down Malik first. The Ice Blast will come down on a Fortnite Man. Ever so low.
He just got BKB.
For the Mars. Unfortunately for him, that is a hard task for them to try and take down the Conqueror, because as you said, did just get the BKB, and that's a lot of damage that goes in onto the Slark. So Rinix just going to try and see if he can seal this deal and get himself away from the pesky members of Liga. It's a buyback coming in from Fortnite Man. This feels like it is almost all or nothing. If they lose out the Mars here, he is going to be so far behind. They just can't deal with the Conquer. There's just so much of this HP. Back. There's so many of these ways for him to try and get away from it. Eventually, the Slark is able to stay on top of the Conquer and get that kill. Now they're going to look towards you here. They're going to take down at least respect. Now, again, continuing to just build up more and more of these stacks for Rinsick. He wants to see if he can continue this fight, but with a race here as well, he has to be very, very careful. Goes into that Shadow Dancer as well, doing a lot of damage towards Lee. This is where it starts getting scary. This is where your Slark just starts to take over the game. Big. Is unfortunately going to be losing a lot of his life, and they will still be able to survive from the Ice Blast. But no, they've been able to go back in here as well. Amarales wants to take down more of these cores coming in from the side.
Oh, the Fight Psychic Headband.
That's huge. And again, looking to see if they can try and take down this Dark Willow, and they will eventually get it from Rinsick. And it is just a tough day at the office if you are either of these two teams. It feels like it is so back and forth and back and forth.
You can't just walk into Roche, he's going to throw you. He's trying to right-click him as he's running, but not going to get that luxury. He was legit down at like 2,000 health, that Roshan, and not even worrying about pushing out that mid lane. He wants the free Aegis, and why not? You've got the shield rune. Get it while you can, while all 3 cores are dead. And this is a huge bounty that just was ignored for quite some time. And, well, Ice Blast. And the Conquer's coming. Okay. Glimmer Cape will save him.
Very, very careful not to lose your life here if you are the Slarky Malarkey.
Should be fine now, although, Torrent. Surely not. Surely you're able to finish this.
Seeing if they can go in here. Rinsick. They pushed him out with the Torrent as well. The Aegis goes on to Respect. They absolutely stole that from the noses on Kalmychata. That is the worst possible scenario for them. Worst possible scenario for everybody involved. The fact that Respect gets it. But either way, it is a Roshan stolen nonetheless.
I've never heard AA say his Aegis voice line in my life. Is it just immortality? Okay.
Probably. That's what everybody's voice line is. It's just them saying immortality in their creepy voice.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to hear him say, like, what the hell is this? Like...
Isn't there one that says something? No, I think it's Anti-Mage buying a different item. I think it's like
Blink Dagger. Blink Dagger. He goes, Blink Dagger? Really? And Ricky getting an invis rune, he's like, he's like, oh, wait a minute.
What need have I for this? All right, you can see it goes oh so low, and then it's the Tide, Torrent, everything from Malik just pulls them outside of the pit. They just weren't able to complete it. Now we see Fortnite Man. And unfortunately, a screen that he's seen quite a lot of tonight, the respawn screen.
Back on the battle bus.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Back on the battle bus.
I mean, they're just throwing out Ice Blast for fun now, not even wanting them to connect onto creep waves. He's getting a little bit cocky now that he's got the Aegis, his respect, I think.
Give him an axe next, guys. Send it to him. Give him a killing touch. Erasma. Send it. I hear a Slark doing some Slark stuff.
You might be doing some
trying to find some supports, but the supports have found him, it seems like it. We're going to have a boat combination that's going to come out here from Malik. He's going to keep sending this fleet in. It's going to do as much damage as he can possibly try, but now they are just doing so much damage across Liga that they are just tearing apart so many of the members here. And it is just so hard for them to try and finish off this game, and now Liga looks like they are in a prime position to finish it off.
They've still got the Roshan's banner as well on Respect. Not wanting to get too close. Yeah.
Unfortunately, it just seems like they don't really have an answer as we get towards the later stages of this game.
Alright, they'll be able to get a free kill. Trying to TP back with Amarales. And
Slark is dead. Just dead. They are at least trying to fight here. Fortnite Man is able to pick up the gem, and now with the TP away, it seems like Respect is more than okay with how this fight is going to go. They're going to see if they can fight a race.
He's got invis in 3 seconds.
There with his own BKB, and he's just going to look like a fight that is, again, disjointed from what we've seen from Kalmychata throughout the entirety of this series. And another Laguna Blade to the face of Fortnite Man. puts him back into the fountain. The X marks comes off from Malik. They pull him all the way back. He does get into the shadow dance at least to try and see if he can win this fight. He's going to see if he can hit on more and more and more and more of these stacks. But
Tidal
again,
wave.
it's just all about the tidal wave. And the
Game's
Ice Blast
over.
is going to be the cream on top. And there's only one buyback left. It's going to be on Ponlo, but unfortunately for Kalmychata, it looks like they were not able to hold on for this series and close it out after a very dominant game number 1. They barnstormed home game number 2. The wheels fell off for both of these two teams. In game number 3, it was all Liga.
All Liga indeed, even just trying to make the most out of this respawn. He's got a BKB freshly purchased, but he's not going to be able to do anything.
Ike unfortunately loses out the race again. The MVP, it seems like, of this game, just so dominant in that mid lane position. Frees up so much space for you, and Malik, solid as a rock in all of these utility positions that he needs to play, and GG's have been dropped.